The following broadcast is presented under rights granted to the SportsGram Internet Sports Network by the Prosper Independent School District. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any further dissemination of the events and descriptions of today's game without the express written consent of the SportsGram Internet Sports Network is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved worldwide. Now, enjoy the game.
Have treated big crowds to a pair of fantastic pitching performances and need one final game to decide who advances to next weekend's UIL Class 4A Region 2 Championship round against the Hallsville Bobcats. I'm Brian Sutcliffe, and I'm joined by the great Ken Mayberry as well as Mr. Tanner Long. Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, as well as Mesa's Mexican Grill, are the generous sponsors for today's live video coverage of Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the SportsGram Network. This is installment number 10 of the Prosper Baseball Playoff pregame show. In 1984, Ronald Reagan was president. Americans paid about $1.20 for a gallon of gas, and the Prosper Eagles won the Class A State Baseball Championship. That was 30 years ago, and the last time that Prosper advanced to the state quarterfinals. The Eagles can punch their ticket with their second Game 3 win in as many Saturdays today. To get here, though, Prosper first had to get past another tough lefty, Blake Wilson, for legacy last night. Now, Wilson wasn't as flashy as the 2-hit, 12-strikeout performance we saw from Cole Herron in Game 1, but he was just about as effective. Prosper managed only 2 hits off Herron in the 2-0 Game 1 loss, but the Eagles looked in the second inning last night like the bats were finally going to awaken from their slumber. The Eagles managed a 2-out rally with base hits by Matthew Gonzalez and Anthony Bernardez that set the table for Austin Medica. Austin dumped a single into left to bring Bernardez home and give Prosper a 1-0 lead. That was the extent of the offense for both teams. Legacy had base runners in each of the 4th through 7th innings, but when Dom Yurgo wasn't inducing easy outs for his defense, his fielders were making great plays like Anthony Bernardez's diving stab of a potential Corey Murray extra base hit that would have tied the game in the 4th. Yurgo got no additional help from his offense, who didn't have a base runner in its final 4 at-bats last night. So it was up to Dom to close out a 1-0 heartstopper, and he did just that. With the tying run at first and Eagle nemesis Dalton Dunn at the plate, the Dominator recorded his 4th strikeout of the game to end it and send us to this afternoon's battle for the series win. And Mr. Newberry, Dom struggled a bit. I called you Mr. Newberry, Mr. Mayberry. Let's get it right. That's our glitch for the day. That's our glitch for the day. Mr. Mayberry, Dom struggled a bit in the first 2 series against Terrell and Woodrow Wilson. He got wins in those games, but was far from dominant. Dom has looked the part of a number 1 in his last 2 outings, both of them must-wins against Highland Park and now Legacy.
I thought he looked extremely well. In fact, that may have been the best game he threw all year last night when he had to have it. And he just stepped up, and he was the man.
Talked to Coach Stanton before the game, and Coach Stanton is the guy who sends the pitch calls into Medica, who then relays them out to the mound for Dom, and he estimated Dom might have missed 2 or 3 pitches last night. I mean, the number of pitches that he didn't put in the precise spot he wanted was that few, and he had to have it, as Prosper's offense certainly didn't look overmatched, but you got to the end of the game and said, at this point, they've only got 3 hits. Dom's probably going to have to win this one 1-0, and he was just absolutely nails. No question the best performance of his varsity career.
If you'd have told me Thursday night that Prosper would be 1-1 and only have 5 hits in 2 games, I don't know what I'd have said, but their bats are just waiting to wake up, and hopefully today's the day.
It was funny, after the first game we sat here and said, if you told me that Legacy would score 2 runs in the first game, you'd say you were up 1-0. In the second game, if I told you Prosper would have 3 hits and score 1 run, you'd say you might be going home.
That's right.
So that the onus will certainly be on the Prosper Eagle offense to find the heat that took them to a 10-run-per-game clip heading into this series. But both teams have used their top 2 starters in the first 2 games, so Game 3 will certainly be an all-hands-on-deck exercise. And when the Prosper Eagle playoff baseball pregame show continues in a moment. We'll preview what should be a fantastic battle for a berth in the Region 2 final. This is Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the SportsGram Network.
At Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, their priority is to deliver quality care to informed patients in a comfortable and convenient setting. When you have dental problems, you need to turn to a dentist who listens and responds, an experienced doctor who knows the field and can effectively diagnose and treat your needs. At Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, located at 110 North Preston Road, their friendly staff meets these criteria. Plus, their dedicated team of trained professionals will give you the individualized attention you deserve. If you have dental needs or questions, give them a call at 972-346-2080 or visit their website at www.prosperdentistryandortho.com to see a full range of their services. Dr. Gilson wants to help you achieve your best smile.
Welcome back to Dallas Baptist University. Prosper and Mansfield Legacy. Game 3 starts in just a few. Many high school coaches elect to start their number 3 pitcher after winning Game 1. The rationale being that your opponent, down a game and needing to stay alive, will probably be without their top 2 hurlers if the series goes to a third and deciding game. Now, Legacy coach David Walden doesn't subscribe to that theory. In each of his team's first 4 playoff series, he's thrown their number 1 Cole Herron and talented number 2 Blake Wilson in the first 2 games. Now, the plan worked in the first 2 series, which Legacy won in sweeps, but they were taken to 3 games by Red Oak in round 2. Now, without Herron or Blake available to start, Coach Walden turned to sophomore JV call-up Cade Stroud last week. And all the pitcher, who hadn't seen varsity action since non-district tournament play did, was throw 5 innings of scoreless baseball before turning the game over to Herron, who had enough in that left arm to register a 2-inning save. Legacy won Game 3 to advance to this 4th round, 1-0. Stroud will be given the ball again, but do not be surprised to see Cole Herron in this game after Herron only threw about 100 pitches 2 days ago. Blake Wilson only threw 78 last night, although it was less than 24 hours ago, so you never know if you might be able to see Wilson again if you're Coach Walden. Prosper will give the ball to senior Dean Smith with seniors Hayden Stallings and perhaps Game 1 starter Dylan Bowen ready to enter in a pinch. Prosper would certainly like to have Dean's bat in the lineup and his experience on the mound, so he's going to get the ball from Coach Rick Carpenter. Dean has only seen action in 1 playoff game this year. That was in Game 2 against Lane Looney and the Highland Park Scots in the 3rd round. Dean had some early control issues in that one. Didn't get knocked around too badly until late, but it was walks that really did Dino in. He did settle down fairly well until the Scots were able to jump on him late. That was a game that Highland Park won 8-1. As we break down this matchup, you'd think Prosper would rate as the more likely team to bust out of its offensive funk that's plagued both teams in the series. We've only seen 3 total runs and 17 hits in 2 games between the teams. The Eagles entered the series hitting over 370 and scoring 10 runs per game in the playoffs, while Legacy's offensive woes have been a bit of a theme throughout their postseason run. Legacy has scored 4 total runs in their last 4 games and are averaging only 3 per contest in 9 playoff games. But their fantastic pitching has more than held up their end of the deal, as Legacy is a win away from their own history. The Broncos are in the regional semis for the 3rd time in school history, but they have never advanced to the regional finals. So, Kent, the Eagles and their fans talked about surviving Game 2 because they really like their chances in what might be a battle of bullpens. How do these teams match up today?
Well, I tell you, Prosper has to get out to an early lead because I am almost positive we're going to see Herron late. And if we don't get out to that early lead, we could be in big trouble.
Let's take a look now at today's starting lineups. First, for the Legacy Broncos, the District 15 4A champions with a 13-1 league record. They are now 28-11 overall, 7-2 in the postseason. Their head coach is David Walden in his 5th season as the Legacy head coach. His team is appearing in the regional semis for the 3rd time. Coach Walden will send this lineup to the plate against the Eagle starter, senior Dean Smith. Senior Marcus Perez leads off and plays center. Junior 3rd baseman Dalton Dunn's been the best hitter for Coach Walden in the series. He moves up to the 2-hole today, so it's Dunn hitting behind Perez. In the 3 spot, it's senior catcher Corey Murray with senior first baseman Cole Herron batting cleanup. Senior shortstop Sam Mahovsky will hit 5th. Number 6 in the lineup is senior designated hitter Garrett Bell, who will bat for the sophomore starting pitcher Cade Stroud. Senior right fielder Carson Houston will bat 7th. Junior second baseman Aaron Johns hits 8th. And the 9th hitter is junior left fielder Chad Watkins. The Prosper Eagles are coached by Rick Carpenter. They bring a 29-11-1 overall record into the game. With a win today, Prosper would pick up win number 30, which would tie Coach Carpenter's high watermark as the Prosper Eagle head coach. The Eagles were the 11-4 District 9 4A co-champions. They're 7-2 in the playoffs. Coach Carpenter in his 7th year at Prosper with a record of 171 wins against 72 losses and a tie. So a win today would also push Coach Carpenter to 100 games over 500 here at Prosper. Legacy starter Cade Stroud, a sophomore, will deal with this Eagle lineup. Junior Steele Walker will lead off and play center. The second hitter will be senior left fielder Blaine Moore. In the third spot, it's senior shortstop Tyler Webb, with senior designated hitter batting for the starting second baseman Aaron Pierce hitting cleanup. Senior starting pitcher Dean Smith will hit fifth. Sixth in the lineup will be the sophomore third baseman Anthony the Cuban Missile Bernardez. Junior first baseman Matthew Gonzalez bats seventh. Eighth in the lineup is the senior catcher Austin Medica, who has Prosper's only RBI of the series. And last but not least, junior right fielder Chad Hardy will bat ninth. Prosper Eagle defense being introduced as it's a Prosper Eagle wideout. The students with a really nice turnout here at Dallas Baptist, showing the same kind of support that the volleyball team saw on its way to the state championship game.
Hopefully that will be an omen on their way to the state tournament. That means the Prosper Eagle baseball team.
The winner of this game will get the Hallsville Bobcats, who were given a really tough series by Liberty. Liberty won 4-2 last night to force the deciding game that started at noon today in Mesquite, and it was Hallsville winning that one 3-2. Liberty had the tying and go-ahead runs on when the final hitter of the game struck out looking to end it. We've had both teams introduced now. It's time for the playing of the national anthem as we get set to go game 3 between Prosper and Legacy.
Of the national anthem.
The Prosper Eagles 29-11-1 against the Legacy Broncos at 28-11. Prosper, the champions of District 9. Legacy, the champions of District 15, battle for a regional final matchup with the champions of District 14 4A, the Hallsville Bobcats. And it will be Dean Smith standing in for his second postseason start. Dino, a 2-4 record on the season with a 4.78 ERA in 34 innings. He's allowed 23 earned runs on 39 hits. He's walked 20, struck out 18. Teams are hitting .298 against Dean.
Dean needs to get off to a quick start today and get his control under control, if you will, and not give a bunch of free passes like he did against Highland Park, and just let his fielders do their job. And we need to come in and start hitting the ball and score some runs.
He'll face Marcus Perez, Dalton Dunn, and Corey Murray here in the top of the first. Prosper, the home team, here in Game 3. Prosper in their light gray home uniforms against Legacy, who's in their home white uniforms. So I guess when one of the teams plays in gray at home, you're okay to wear your white uniforms as the visiting team.
The wind is blowing out, I'd say, from right to left just a little bit stronger than it has in the last couple of games. That may be a factor today.
There have been 17 hits in the series. There's only been one extra base hit. It was off the bat of Dalton Dunn. That brought in the first run of the series. In game number 1, that was won by Legacy, 2-0. Prosper winning game 2 to force this deciding third game, 1-0 last night behind a complete game 4 hit shutout from Tom Yurgo.
With this dual field with the turf infield and the grass outfield, that grass is really thick, and it takes a real poke to get it between the outfielders for extra bases.
Well, Mr. Mayberry, we can only hope this game is as entertaining as the game we saw before this one. South Lake Carroll and the Flower Mound Jaguars. A thrilling ending. Flower Mound went to the 7th inning.
Trailing.
They were trailing after being up by a couple runs. They then allowed 4 in the 7th, then came up in the bottom of the frame and scored 3. The winning run being scored on a bases-loaded walk. We're ready to go. Dean Smith against Marcus Perez, who's 2 for 6 in the series. He had a base hit in 3 plate appearances yesterday. Legacy coming into the series, hitting .322. They have 12 hits in the series compared to Prosper's 5. Stands in from the right side, coming into the series, a .467 hitter. Was 5th in the area in the regular season with a .490 average. The lefty, Dean Smith, kicks and fires. The first pitch is a called strike, 0-1. First pitch is thrown 31 minutes late, I guess you may call it. We thought this was going to be a 4 o'clock start. Dino's 0-1 pitch misses a little bit outside, 1-1. Neither coach will leave anything in the bag today. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Bases empty as Bernardez is in. Very shallow. Perez gives it a ride to left. Blaine Moore's got a beat on it. Just barely in fair territory. He's got it. There's 1 down.
He had a good pitch to hit that time. Just got under it just a little bit.
This beautiful facility goes 330 to left and to right. It is 390 to dead center. Got about a 20 to 23 foot wall out in left and in center. Here's the first pitch to Dunn. He takes that for a ball, 1-0. Dalton Dunn's been fantastic in the series. He's 2 for 5 with a double. He's got both RBI for Legacy. The 1-0 pitch stays high, 2-0. So for Dunn's trouble, he's moved up from the 6 hole to number 2. 2-0 from Dean. A get me over strike, 2-1. That is a fairly unique strike call from the home plate umpire, as almost gestures as if he's pointing to the sky. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Bases empty, top of the first. We're just underway. The 2-1. A little bit inside, 3-1.
Has a great hitter's backdrop here. Not only is there a big green wall in center field with trees all around, so the hitters don't have any excuse.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. Ripping on a hitter's count was done. He just nicks it at the plate. The count goes full. Legacy's offense has scored exactly 4 runs in their last 4 games. They're averaging 3 per contest in the postseason. Here's the payoff pitch. Poking it over the Legacy dugout is Dunn. Will stay full.
He was just fighting that off. It was too close to take.
The lefty fires. That is tapped over the left side. That is a fair ball. That ate up Bernardez a bit. Dunn with good speed. I'm not sure he would have had a play on that anyway.
I think that's a base hit.
So 3 hits in the series now for Dunn. He's at first base for Corey Murray.
Big, fine-looking catcher. Going to Weatherford, did you say?
Yes, he is, along with Cole Heron.
That'll be a good combination there.
Murray is 1 for 6 in the series. He was robbed by Bernardez over at third of an extra base RBI hit yesterday as Dino fires over. I think the first base coach having a word with the umpire, thinking that Dean might be stepping a little bit too far toward the plate and firing over. Dean has a good pickoff move. First pitch to Murray. Strike one.
Either that or they didn't like the little love tap that Gonzalez put on him. It nearly knocked him down.
Dunn gives about 5 inches to Gonzalez over there at first. At least. Gonzalez is a massive man, just a junior. Here's the 0-1 from Dino. That is ripped over to deep. The over to Gonzalez. It's right through the wickets. Going from first to third is Dunn. Firing it back into the infield is Hardy. That will be an error. And runners are at the corners with 1 out for Cole Herron.
Matthew Gonzalez was just too eager to try to turn that double play, and he just didn't get the caboose down and get the glove on the ball. Went right through his legs.
That's the first error against either team in the series.
They put a base hit up on the scoreboard, but I don't think
that is not a base hit. That is an error.
Yeah.
Brock Moody will run for Murray.
Legacy in business here, first and third, only 1 out.
Dean has shown better command here in the early going than he showed in the first inning against Highland Park, so that's certainly a good sign for the Eagles. But he's in trouble here with a couple of runners on and 1 out for the cleanup hitter, Herron. First pitch, outside, ball 1. Herron's 1 for 6 in the series. It was 0 for 3 yesterday. Came into the series tied for the team lead in RBI with 25. Runners away from first and third. 1 out. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That is lifted high on the infield. This will be playable for Gonzalez. He's got it. 2 down.
Good pitch by Smith that time to get him to pop up on the infield. Now there's 2 away with runners on first and second. First and third. Need to get out of this.
Sam Mahovsky, 3 for 5 with a run scored in the series. He had a couple of singles yesterday. On one of those, he ended up having second stolen, and then he overslid the bag and was tagged out. .388 hitter on the season with 16 RBI coming into the series. The first pitch from Dino. Right down Main Street, strike 1.
They did change that to an error on the board.
No balls, 1 strike. 2 outs, runners at first and third. On a single by Dalton Dunn. And an error by Matthew Gonzalez over at first. Dino fires over. Got to be very careful for a squad like Legacy that's having a hard time finding ways to score right now. You don't want to give them a freebie by balking a runner in.
No, sure don't.
Dean looks in, gets the sign from Austin Medica as relayed in from the assistant coach Sean Stanton. Here's the 0-1 to Mahovsky. That is ripped over the tidal web. It's a base hit and Legacy leads it 1-0 on an RBI single by Sam Mahovsky.
Just out of the reach of Tyler. If he'd have been playing a half a step to the right, he would have had that ball. The ball was laced.
Dunn scores. Moody goes to second. That's an unearned run.
Still have runners, first and second, 2 out.
Garrett Bell is the hitter, stands in from the right side. Runners now at first and second with 2 down. A run in for Legacy. First pitch is a called strike, 0-1. Bell's reached a couple of times in the series. Was 0 for 2 last night, singled and reached on a walk in the first game. An even 300 hitter coming into the series. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball stays very high. 1 ball and 1 strike. We're on the top of the first. Legacy with a run in. It's unearned on a couple of hits and an error. Dean's ready, brings the 1-1. 2-1. Carson Houston in the on-deck circle. He hit in the 2-hole. He's been moved down to number 7 as Coach David Walden made some adjustments to his lineup before Game 3. 2-1 offering. That is lifted to center. Steele Walker starts in, then retreats. He's got it. That will go F8 on your scorecard, but Legacy scores a run on a couple of hits and an error. Their run is unearned. They leave 2 left, and after a half inning of play, it's Legacy 1, Prosper coming up. This is Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the SportsGram Network.
At Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, their priority is to deliver quality care to informed patients in a comfortable and convenient setting. When you have dental problems, you need to turn to a dentist who listens and responds, an experienced doctor who knows the field and can effectively diagnose and treat your needs. At Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, located at 110 North Preston Road, their friendly staff meets these criteria. Plus, their dedicated team of trained professionals will give you the individualized attention you deserve. If you have dental needs or questions, give them a call at 972-346-2080 or visit their website at www.prosperdentistryandortho.com to see a full range of their services. Dr. Gilson wants to help you achieve your best smile.
To the bottom of the first we go. Cade Stroud, the sophomore righty, takes the bump with a 1-0 lead. After an RBI base hit by Sam Mahovsky, Stroud 3-2 on the season in just 13 innings of play. He does have a paltry 0.54 ERA. He's allowed 1 earned run on 8 hits. He has struck out 9 and walked 9. He was the winning pitcher in Legacy's Game 3 victory over Red Oak, a game the Broncos won 1-0. He went 5 scoreless innings in that one, scattered 3 hits, struck out 4 and walked 1. Threw 81 pitches in that one, 53 for strikes. And Mr. Mayberry, Prosper's got to like getting out there and seeing a righty on the mound for the first time in the series.
Yeah, Prosper has more left-handed hitters than most teams in high school for sure, and so I'm sure these left-handed hitters are tired of looking at those left-handed pitchers.
Steele Walker is 1 for 6 in the series. He took an 0 for last night. He was 0 for 3. Prosper trailing 1-0. We're in the bottom of the first, Game 3 at Dallas Baptist. Out of that open stance, Stroud's first pitch is a called strike, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch misses, evens the count at 1-0. Dean Smith threw 20 pitches in that first inning, but Dean looked a lot better in this first inning than what we saw against Highland Parks. Even though he allowed a run, you got to like the start from Dino.
Much better.
1-1 misses low and away, 2-1. Prosper recorded all 3 of their hits yesterday in their second inning uprising. It all came with 2 outs. The Eagles did not have a base runner after the second last night. Here's the 2-1 to Steele. That is fouled away. 2-2. You can email us in the SportsGram Network broadcast booth at sospbp@gmail.com. We'd love to know where you're watching today. Here's the 2-2 to Steele. Breaking ball missed, 3-2. Stroud did not pitch in varsity play. He saw some action during 3 district tournaments, and Steele Walker takes a leadoff walk.
That's what we need, base runners. We don't care how we get them on base.
Steele's over at first for Blaine Moore. Blaine's looking to reach for the first time in the series. He was 0 for 3 in each of the first 2 games. Last we saw Mr. Moore in a Saturday elimination game. He finished a homer shy of the cycle and scored 3 runs, which tied a season high. Snap throw over. Steele's in on his tummy. This is a all-field turf infield. If you look in the foul areas, you'll see a bit of a ridge where the turf and the natural grass of the outfield meet. Blaine's ready as Dunn comes in a bit at third. First pitch. Good fastball for a called strike, 0-1. That's just the 3rd walk issued by Legacy pitching. The first 2 were earned by Chad Hardy. Steele with very good speed over at first base. He's got 13 steals. Squaring to bunt, putting it into play. Dalton Dunn picks it up, looks over to second for a moment. He'll get the easy out. The sacrifice goes 5-3. Steele Walker's in scoring position for Tyler Webb.
Tyler gave the ball a ride in last night's game. Just came not very far from getting out of here, but the left fielder made a tremendous play on the ball.
Tyler hoping this is not the final game of his magnificent Prosper athletic career. We'll talk a bit about that as the day progresses. Steele away from second. There's one out. First pitch to Tyler is a breaking ball taken 0-1. Tyler's 0 for 5. He's been hit by a pitch in the series. Was 0 for 3 last night. Prosper with just 5 base hits total in their last 2 games. That's their lowest offensive output of the season. Now turning and looking Steele back into second is Cade Stroud. Sophomore called up off the JV. Already had 1 game where he's given the ball by Coach Walden. Said, go save our season, kid. Now he's got to do it again. Here's the 0-1 to Tyler. 1-1.
I don't know if it's me or not, but it seems like the approach pitching to Tyler is completely different than everybody else in the lineup.
Tell us a little bit more about that. You mentioned that last night.
I think they're just trying to get him to fish, throwing breaking balls on the outside.
They're not challenging him very much.
No, they're not.
I don't blame him. He has 3 homers in the postseason. Long hold. Here's the 1-1. He's trying to nibble, not getting a chunk. 2-1.
That's 3 pitches, and all 3 of them have been breaking balls.
Steele Walker led off the bottom of the first with a walk. He was bunted over to second by Blaine Moore, and now Tyler Webb's got a good hitter's count at 2-1. Here it comes. That is tapped very slowly. It will be foul into the glove of Corey Murray. That evens the count at 2-2. Prosper trailing 1-0. A couple of hits and an error in the top of the first led to an unearned run. It was plated by Dalton Dunn, who continues to terrorize Prosper. Had 2 RBI in the first game, scores the first run here in the third game. It's 1-0 legacy. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Tying run at second. Looks like Murray and Stroud are having a hard time getting on the same page.
I have to say one thing. If he's up from the JV, they had a heck of a JV team.
That they did. Stroud's 2-2. Got him looking.
That was a good pitch. Right on the knees. Too close to call, that's for sure. Dom's going to have to come through now with a 2-out base hit.
Dom's failed to reach in 2 straight games after reaching in 11 games in a row. He's 0 for 6 in the series. Only saw 8 pitches in 3 plate appearances last night. He was up there hacking. 2 down. Steele Walker still at second. Here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss.
Came way out in front with a slow breaking ball that time. Dom's one of those guys that can look really bad the first few pitches and all of a sudden just rip one in the alley somewhere.
Stroud comes to the set. The 0-1 to Dom. That foul to the Legacy dugout, 0-2. Stroud ahead of Dom Yeargo at 0-2. Yeargo on his way to West Texas A&M. Hoping that his high school career extends another week. The 0-2. That is hit. That's going to fall in for a base hit. That is fair and rolls into the corner. Dom Yeargo has tied the game at 1 and gets away from Watkins for a moment. A stand-up double for Dom Yeargo. Prosper has tied it at 1.
He's done that all year, Brian, come through with big base hits in the most opportune times.
On an 0-2 pitch.
That is definitely one of my pet peeves. If one of our pitchers gives up a base hit on 0-2, that's unacceptable. And this young sophomore just put it over the plate, and Dom just reached out and drove it down the left field line for an RBI single, double, excuse me.
When Prosper's offense is really humming, their hitters just take what they're given. That was a ball on the outer half. Dom just stuck that bat out there, twisted it down the left field line. Perfectly placed, and we're tied at 1. First pitch to Dean Smith is high, 1-0.
Getting back to that approach, I think these young men have probably the best two-strike approach that I've seen on a high school team ever. I mean, their mindset is, foul it off till I get a good one.
Dean Smith's ahead of the count at 1-0. Here it comes, 2-0. Smith is 0 for 5 in the series. Only got to hit twice last night. Second on the team in doubles with 10. One down the right field line would be very nicely timed right now. Here's a 2-0. Strike called, 2-1.
Funny, since there's 2 outs.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner at second. Here comes to Dino. Very late strike call, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second base. A Dom Yurgo RBI double has tied the score. 2-1.
We've had all singles thus far, our 5 hit total, and we've had
Stroud in a position where it looks like after walking the leadoff hitter, you're going to get out of trouble. And suddenly, you're having to have conferences at the mound as Prosper is now leading the game 2-1.
We got Cole Hecht out there running for Dean Smith at second base. Anthony Bernard is at the plate, who has been very hot in the playoffs.
So Dom and Dean with their first base hits of the series, both bring in runs, and Prosper has taken the lead 2-1 in the bottom of the first. Anthony Bernard is hitting over 600 in the playoffs. First pitch, low, ball 1. AB's 1 for 4. He's also scored a run in the series. Was 1 for 2 with a run scored last night. Scored the only run of the game. Here's the 1-0. Strike
already
ball,
got somebody
1-1.
going down to the bullpen to start loosening up for Legacy. Same gentleman as last night, number 15.
That is Daniel Drzymski. I think both pitchers will have a very short leash this afternoon. Prosper with a 2-1 lead. They've got another runner. It's Cole Hecht out at second. Here's the 1-1 to Bernardez. Breaking ball missed, 2-1. This will be the 25th pitch thrown in the first inning by Cade Stroud. He's ready. Hitters count for AB. The missile waits on it. Here's the 2-1. 3-1. Matthew Gonzalez in the on-deck circle. This did not look like a promising inning after the leadoff walk to Steele Walker. He was bunted over to second by Blaine Moore. Then Tyler Webb struck out on a tough pitch. And then with a 2-strike count, 0-2, Dom Yurgo fired a double down the left field line. Dean Smith followed it up with a 2-bagger down the right field line, and Prosper leads 2-1. Here's the 3-1. He walked it.
Brings up big Matthew Gonzalez. If he could come through right here and bust this thing open early.
The last 3 hitters have reached.
First baseman, number 19, Matthew Gonzalez.
Gonzo coming into play last night, hitting .357 in the postseason. He's 1 for 4 in the series, had his base hit yesterday. We're in the bottom of the first. Based on what we've seen in the first 2 games, it's an offensive explosion. As we had 3 total runs in the first 2 games, we have 3 total runs in the first inning this afternoon. It's 2-1 Prosper.
I don't think this is going to be a less than 2-hour game either.
Runners away from first and second. It's Hecht at second, Bernardez at first. There's a good breaking ball. He might have hung that a little bit. I'm not sure he wants to throw that pitch again.
bet Matthew is, oh man, I should have swung at that one.
No balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Runners at first and second. Prosper with 2 in. They lead it 2-1. Here's the pitch from Stroud. Breaking ball. Missed this time, 1-1. You have to wait a moment, as this home plate umpire has already shown us he will take his dear sweet time making the call. Austin Medica in the on-deck circle have the lone RBI of the series prior to today for Prosper. Still has the shin guards on in the on-deck circle. Gonzalez waits on the 1-1. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. He was going for the 390 sign in dead center on that one, I think.
Yeah, that was a big rip there.
I got in on the fist a little bit. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Get in that 2-strike mode here.
Stroud is ready. Gonzalez is ready. Runners get leads from first and second. Long hold. Here it comes. 2-2. Stroud is coming to that set and taking a long time to let it fly.
I'm surprised a couple of our guys hadn't called timeout and stepped out on him.
Now Gonzalez asked for time. He called time.
I thought he was calling a balk there for a second. It's just what we were talking about. You need to step out on this guy and make him come ahead and throw to you.
Cole Hecht is running for Dean Smith, whose 11th double of the season has given Prosper a 2-1 lead. Anthony Bernarda has worked a walk. He's over at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The big junior waits on it. It's on its way. That is poked. Foul.
That was a good 2-strike approach, just guarding the plate, fouling it off, waiting for the next pitch.
This will be the 32nd pitch thrown by Stroud here in the first inning. I'm sure Coach Walden believes that certainly Cole Herron is available, but I can't imagine he would want to bring him in earlier than about the 5th inning. Here's the 2-2.
He scalded it, but it was foul.
That was a home run pop off of his bat. Just got on top of it a little bit. Watkins in left is playing about as far in as we've seen the left fielder play in the series. He took one off the wall against Tyler Webb last night, playing very deep. We'll try the 2-2 again as runners lead from first and second. Here it comes. Low, ball 3. Steele Walker saw 6 pitches in his at bat. Tyler Webb saw 5. Dean Smith saw 5. Bernardes saw 5. And now Matthew Gonzalez will see at least 8. A lot of work here for Stroud. The runners will get a head start after Cole Hecht heads back to second. Glad to have seen Cole back in the lineup. Missed some time with some concussion symptoms. Fantastic speed, one of the best on the team. Here's the payoff pitch. That is close.
Get down.
It is right at Marcus Perez.
I thought it was going to get down.
But Prosper scores a couple on a couple of base hits. RBI doubles by Dom Yergo and Dean Smith. And after one, Prosper leads Mansfield Legacy 2-1. This is Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball of the SportsGram Network.
What are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck for Dave 2037 so he can buy anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman. What are you getting Steve 2037?
Steve 2037 will be just fine.
Well, okay, but don't expect to borrow my anti-gravity boots.
Save something for the future. Put away a few bucks. Feel like $1 million. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Eagle fans, you don't have to leave Prosper to get great Mexican food. Mesa's Mexican Grill is family owned and operated since 2012, combining Tex-Mex and authentic Mexican food that will have you coming back for more. Come for dinner and enjoy their delicious chimichangas or jalapeno grilled fajitas. Their special lunch menu makes Mesa's the spot for your midday cravings as well. Stop in and see them at 2111 East University Drive at the corner of University and Prosper Commons Boulevard in Prosper. You can also check them out online at mesasmexgrill.com. Mesa's Mexican Grill, a proud sponsor of Prosper Eagle baseball broadcasts on the SportsGram Network. Dean Smith pitched pretty well in the first, gave up a run but escaped further damage. The run was unearned, and then Dino helps himself out by lacing a run-scoring double down the right field line to give Prosper a 2-1 lead. I'm Brian Sutcliffe with Ken Mayberry. It will be the 7, 8, 9 hitters.
Stroud's going down to the bullpen. I don't understand that, but and so is our man, Mr. Herron, is making his way down there also. We need a shutdown inning here. After you score, you need to shut the opponents down.
Stroud threw 34 pitches in that first inning. Carson Houston, Aaron Johns, and Chad Watkins. Watkins, the number 9 hitter, will hit for the first time in the series. First pitch from Dean Smith is a strike, 0-1.
Now, Stroud is the only one throwing in the bullpen, and I don't understand that after he had so many pitches in the first inning.
Good breaking ball from Dean. Got it to bend over, but it stayed a little bit high, 1-1. Carson Houston has been struggling a bit in the series. He's 0 for 4 with a hit by pitch. As Dean tries to nibble. Misses 2-1. You want to get the leadoff hitter here. Here's the 2-1. Fouled at the plate, 2-2.
Had him out in front on that pitch.
Houston tied for the team lead in RBI with 25, tied with Cole Herron. Dean looks in, given the green light by the home plate umpire. The lefty kicks and fires. 3-2. Dean brings the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Big pitch by Dean Smith. There's one down. His first strikeout of the day. Houston sees 6 pitches, but he goes down swinging for the first out in the top of the second. Prosper with a 2-1 lead. The teams are even at 2 hits apiece. Legacy's run was unearned. Aaron Johns had a nice series, 2 for 5 in the series. He was 1 for 2 yesterday. Stands out of the right-hand box, takes the first pitch high, ball 1. Johns, no stranger to the big performance in a Game 3, had the series-winning RBI against Red Oak in Game 3. As the count goes to 2-0. Johns waits on the 2-0 pitch. A little high, 3-0. Chad Watkins on deck. The 3-0. Taking all the way was Johns. He'll get me over fastball there from Dino. Gets it over, 3-1. Fantastic day here, not too hot. Here's the 3-1. That is popped up. Short left. Steele Walker will call off Tyler Webb, who's then called off by Blaine Moore. There's 2 out.
I don't know if you noticed at that time, but the ball was hit. Tyler Webb turned his back to home plate, and he sprinted to where he thought the ball was going to come down, and then he was called off. But that's a great instinct by a shortstop.
Chad Watkins hasn't had a lot of experience at the plate this year, just 32 plate appearances. He takes the first pitch for a called strike, 0-1. But with Stroud throwing on the mound The sophomore being hit for by the designated hitter, so Watkins, the left fielder, will take some hacks. The 0-1. Followed by strike 2, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, bases empty, 2 outs. Top 2, Prosper leads 2-1. Comes the 0-2 pitch, breaking ball. Dean's been having a little bit of trouble with that breaking ball in the last couple of appearances. Had good location with the other stuff. There's the 1-2. Low, 2-2. Big hitter here for Dean, the number 9 man, with Marcus Perez in the on-deck circle. You want to pitch to Perez in the 3rd with the bases empty. Here's the 2-2. That is rolled over to Bernardez. He'll take it on a hip-high hop. Getting the foot down on the nice dig was Matthew Gonzalez. That goes 5-3, and Dean Smith retires. Legacy in order in the 2nd. No hits, no runs, nobody left. Through 1.5, it's Prosper 2, Legacy 1. This is Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the SportsGram Network.
So, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket. But it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place. And then they act so surprised when I find them. But I'm like, hello? That's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
A textbook shutdown inning from the senior lefty Dean Smith sends us to bottom 2. Prosper leading 2-1. Austin Medica, Chad Hardy, and then back to the top of the lineup for Steele Walker here in the 2nd. Prosper with a pair of runs on a pair of RBI 2-baggers from Dom Yurgo and Dean Smith with 2 outs in the 1st. Brian Sutcliffe, Ken Mayberry.
Let's go get some more, Brian.
Dino with a good pitch count through 2. He's thrown 36 pitches. You mentioned during the intermission between innings here that Cade Stroud threw 34 pitches in that 1st inning, then went down to the bullpen and threw some more.
Leading off for the Eagles, the catcher, number 21, Austin Medica.
Austin Medica has base hits in both games of the series. Had Prosper's lone RBI yesterday. Carries a 3-game hitting streak into Game 3. Stands in from the left side. The sophomore's first pitch is a ball, 1-0. Medica coming into play last night, hitting .286 in the playoffs, .286 on the season as Stroud misses badly on the 1-0. The count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Winner of this game wins the series and moves on to the regional final. One of these teams is going to make some history today. Prosper has not advanced that far into the playoffs since their Class A state championship season of 1984. Here's the 2-0. Cut on and missed. The count now goes to 2-1 to Medica. The Legacy Broncos of Mansfield have never been to the regional final. Their school opened in 2007, so not that much history to speak of, though since 2007, they've now been to the regional semifinals 3 times. This is the 3rd year under Coach David Walden. They've advanced this far in the playoffs in each of their last 3 seasons as a 4A program. The 2-1. Rides outside, 3-1. Legacy was founded as a 4A school, opened up, got big, moved to the 5A class for a couple seasons. The 3-1 is taken 3-2. Then move back to 4A where they have picked right up where they left off, making it to the 4th round.
That Mansfield School District is growing by leaps and bounds. They're building schools all the time.
That's a really good baseball area as well. Here's the 3-2. Got him swinging. That was a nice comeback there by Stroud, who fell behind Austin Medica. 3-1, comes back to earn the punch out. 1 down, bases empty, bottom 2. Prosper with a 2-1 lead. Second strikeout for Stroud. And Chad Hardy will bat. Chad, just a junior, 0 for 2 in the series with a couple of walks. He takes the first pitch strike, 0-1. Prior to today, Legacy had issued 2 walks in the series, both of them to Chad. The 0-1. Trying to push a bunt down the first baseline. Didn't get a great... Thought maybe he was going to get a fastball there. That ball had a bit of bite to it. 0-2. Stroud needed 34 pitches to get through the first. Here's the 0-2. Staying alive is Chad. Heading into the series, Hardy, a .326 hitter away from the Eagles' nest. Prosper hits about the same at home as they do on the road, about .314 in both places. Here's the 0-2. Got him looking. Two up, 2 down by strikeout, and Steele Walker will bat with 2 down and the base is empty.
I'm not opposed to a 2-out rally.
Prosper has scored their last 3 runs of the series, their only 3 runs of the series, with 2 outs. Here's the first pitch to Steele. Ball 1. That's just the 11th pitch of the second after that 34 offering first inning for Stroud. Just a sophomore coming into the game today with just 13 innings pitched. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball high, 2-0. Steele waits on the 2-0. Fastball, still a little bit late on it. A little bit of frustration. Bats the end of his bat on the plate. Legacy has handled Prosper's big bats well in the series. 2-1. 3-1. Blaine Moore on deck. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Base is empty. Stroud brings it to Steele. Strike 2. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Stroud has struck out the first 2 of the inning. Steele stays alive. We'll try the payoff pitch again. Breaking ball not close. Steele Walker's walk in both plate appearances.
I don't know if you noticed it, Brian, but Coach Stanton, first base coach, he was up against the fence while Steele was hitting. He didn't want
That's probably not an unwise decision if you're interested in self-preservation. Steele turns on the ball on the inner half. He's going to smoke it. Now we'll see if Dalton Dunn over at third is mindful of Blaine Moore's bunting ability. He's played very deep over at the hot corner throughout the series. We haven't seen Blaine try to push a bunt on the third base line for a hit yet.
I did have a talk with Blaine about that before the game today.
First pitch, pumped in for a strike, 0-1. What did he say to you, my man?
He said it did enter his mind yesterday when we were talking about how deep he was, but he just wanted to hit. You know how these young men are. They want to swing the bat. I told him, take every opportunity they give you. Now, whether he will or not, we'll
Dunn's
see.
back at his normal position. There's the 0-1. Fastball, strike 2. The throw down to second is not in time. Steele Walker overslides the bag, and now both teams have had a runner wiped out at second after a successful stolen base due to oversliding the bag.
We ought to be used to that. We've got the same turf at our place. He just overslid the bag, had too much momentum going into second base.
So Steele is caught stealing. Prosper can't do anything with the 2-out walk. We're through 2. Prosper leading Legacy in a must-win for both teams, 2-1. This is Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the SportsGram Network.
At Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, their priority is to deliver quality care to informed patients in a comfortable and convenient setting. When you have dental problems, you need to turn to a dentist who listens and responds, an experienced doctor who knows the field and can effectively diagnose and treat your needs. At Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, located at 110 North Preston Road, their friendly staff meets these criteria. Plus, their dedicated team of trained professionals will give you the individualized attention you deserve. If you have dental needs or questions, give them a call at 972-346-2080 or visit their website at www.prosperdentistryandortho.com to see a full range of their services. Dr. Gilson wants to help you achieve your best smile.
Certainly understand the logic of trying to get a runner into scoring position with a couple of men out. Still Walker had the base swiped, overslid the bag. We saw Sam Mahovsky for Legacy do it yesterday. And credit the middle infield there for Legacy and just keeping with the play, applying the tag. Steele overslid the bag so far. I mean, he pretty much knew he was dead to rights by the time he had realized he didn't have any bag left. Dean Smith has thrown 36 pitches. He'll deal with the top third of the Legacy lineup. Marcus Perez, Dalton Dunn, and Corey Murray. Prosper leading 2-1 on RBI doubles by Dom Yurgo and Dean Smith. The lone run of the game scored in the first by Dalton Dunn on an RBI single by Sam Mahovsky, but that run was unearned. Perez is 0 for 1. Flew out to Blaine Moore in left, very close to the left field line. Blaine had to give it a pretty good run to get a hold of it.
This young man has a very unusual stance. He is way up in the batter's box, and his right foot is on the inside chalk, but he just drilled that one to left field like he knew what he was doing.
There's that 467 hitter. Taking a rip at the first good-looking pitch he sees and pops it into left field. Third hit of the game. And the tying run is at first base with nobody out. And I expect we will see some throws over to first from Dean Smith. Perez with very good speed. First pitch to Dunn. Low, ball one. Prosper leading the top of the third, 2-1. All three runs of the game scored in the first inning. Both teams with a goose egg in the second. Dean's 1-0. Bounced in, gets away from Medica for a moment. He'll fire down to second. The throw is not in time. He overslid the bag again.
Wow. Wow. What can I say? That's unbelievable. Thank you, though. We appreciate it.
That is the second time in as many days that Legacy has had the tying run on in great position, only to have him wiped out after oversliding second base. Here's the 2-0. Now Dean misses low, 3-0. Corey Murray in the on-deck circle.
That ball didn't get very far away from Medica. He was taking off.
There's the 3-0. Ball four. Four-pitch walk to Dunn, who continues to reach at will.
And I hate to say it, but none of those pitches were close.
That's the first walk issued by Dino. Corey Murray reached on an error in the first. He's 0 for 1. Ball that went right through the wickets of Matthew Gonzalez over at first. Left on lefty matchup. First pitch. Strike one. Dropped it right over the outside edge. Corey Murray is an outdoorsman, and he looks the part. He is a big man standing in there out of the left-hand box on his way to Weatherford College. Slow breaking ball stays high as Medica jumps around to first to have a look at Dunn back into first base.
Dean has just not been able to get that breaking pitch over for a strike. And that's going to be #1 priority here today.
Murray has been good at getting on base, has an on-base percentage of over .460. Here comes the 1-1. There's a breaking ball. That is just foul. That'd have been trouble. A little bit out in front was Murray. Was the District 15 4A All-District catcher last season when he hit .383 with 5 homers and 37 RBI. Coming into this series, a .340 hitter with a team leading 8 doubles and 24 runs batted in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at first, 1 out. Here it comes. That is poked into short center field. Here comes Steele Walker. He'll have to play it on a hop. He'll fire to second. Did they get him? No.
Close play. Steele fielded that ball on a short hop and came up throwing and nearly got the force at second base.
Runners at first and second and 1 out for Cole Herron. He'll hit with a couple of runners on for the second time in the game as Dunn goes to second. 4 hits on the day now for Legacy, who trails Prosper 2-1 in the top of the third. Dean working out of the stretch with a pair of runners on. First offering to Herron is high.
He acted like he wanted to put one down. I can't believe that they could do that with him in the box. But
well, Sam Mahovsky's got 3 base hits in his last 2 games now. Probably the hottest hitter in the lineup right now for Coach Walden. He stands in the on-deck circle. Dropping the tag right on top of Dalton Dunn's head was Aaron Pierce. One ball, no strikes, 1 out. Prosper leading 2-1 with the tying and go-ahead runs on at first and second. Here comes the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Big hack there from Herron. And leaving the count at 1. Dino with a strikeout and a walk. He's allowed 4 base hits. Prosper's committed the only error of the game.
that's the only error of this series, too.
That it is. These teams have played a very crisp series. Dean's ready. He brings the 1-1. 2-1, a little bit inside. This will be the 49th pitch thrown by Dean Smith from the top of the third. Runners away from first and second. The 2-1 pitch. Herron swings at a ball up in his eyes. I'm sure if he had that one back, he would have kept it in the holster right there. Gives Dean a bit of a break now as the count is even at 2-2. One down, top of the third. Prosper clinging to a 2-1 lead. Here's the 2-2 to Herron. That is smoked but foul. Cole Herron got the win in Game 1 against Red Oak, a game that his Broncos won 8-3. He also helped himself out with 2 doubles and a 3-run homer. Has excellent power with 3 homers on the season. Dean fighting tough. The 2-2. And Cole Herron will see a full count pitch.
Be interesting here to see if the Legacy coach starts the runners here with only 1 out.
Dean looks in, gets the sign from Austin Medica. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch. That is hit down the left field line. It will go foul. Dino's going to have to be careful with Herron, who is making good contact in this at bat. Dunn away from second. Moody, the courtesy runner, away from first. The payoff pitch to Herron. Got him swinging! Herron slams his bat down as he swung at ball 4 right there.
That ball wasn't even close to the plate. If you've ever seen an aluminum bat broken, he might have done it right there. That was a big
could not lay off a high pitch off the outside corner. And it will be up to Sam Mahovsky, who is 1 for 1 with an RBI. His RBI single in the first gave Legacy a 1-0 lead. They watched a race and then some in the bottom of the frame on a couple of RBI doubles by Dom Yurgo and Dean Smith. Prosper leads at 2-1. They'll fire over as Dunn got a big lead. Scampers back in on his tummy. That was an 8-pitch at bat for Cole Herron. But Dean Smith records his second punch-out. 2 down. Mahovsky waits on the first offering. Here it comes. One 1-0 to Sam. Was also a member of the first team 15-4A All-District squad a season ago. Played shortstop and third base. The left side of that defensive infield for Legacy has been really good in the series. Dalton Dunn over there at third and Mahovsky at short.
We don't know the results of the all-district teams because normally it's an unwritten rule in districts that as long as a team in that district is still playing, they will not announce the all-district selections.
Dino brings the 1-0. Fastball misses 2-0. Prosper, the last 9-4A team standing after the Liberty Redhawks were eliminated earlier today by the Hallsville Bobcats. 3-2 in Mesquite. Winner of this one gets Hallsville, who entered the playoffs as the 7th-ranked team in the state. The 2-0. 3-0. Dean's not missing by much. Garrett Bell is in the on-deck circle.
Getting back to that all-district, they did announce the Prosper guys that didn't make the academic all-district team. We had 11 players on that.
Very impressive. 3-0 count. You would imagine Mahovsky will be taken all the way here. 2 down, runners at first and second. Here comes the pitch.
Ball 4.
Strike 1.
Really? Okay.
That didn't look like the best pitch of this at bat. Dean stays alive in the at bat against Mahovsky. Runners at first and second, 2 out. Here comes the 3-1. That is hit into left center field. Steele Walker on his horse. He's got it! There's the speed from Steele. I thought that was getting down for an RBI. Steele Walker says, not so fast, my friend. A couple of men stranded. Legacy has left 4 on base. Steele Walker catches the sinking line drive, and we go to the bottom of the third. Prosper will retain its 2-1 lead. This is Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the SportsGram Network.
Hi, this is Paul McCartney on behalf of RAD. If you're drinking, you can't drive my car or any car. And remember, don't drink and drive. It's just not worth it.
But you can do something in between. Baby, you can drive my car.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Dr. Jeff Gilson and the team at Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics are committed to providing you with the very best in oral health services. That includes many dental services that you just can't find in many offices. Services like IV sedation for wisdom tooth procedures, as well as cosmetic dentistry. You can find a complete list of their services at prosperdentistryandortho.com. Their office is conveniently located in Prosper at 110 North Preston Road, Suite 10. You can make an appointment on their website or give them a call at 972-346-2080. Dr. Gilson and the Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics team say, Go Eagles! And are proud sponsors of Prosper Eagle baseball broadcasts on the SportsGram Network. Of course, the Gilsons, parents of Brandon Gilson, now at TCU. Prosper baseball alumnus.
They have a freshman also that looks like a small Brandon. He's a pretty good-sized boy for a freshman.
Prosper being out hit 4-2, but they lead the game 2-1 as Blaine Moore, Tyler Webb, and Dom Yurgo set. And there's that bunt down the third base line. That's going to be trouble.
There's that base hit.
Base hit, infield single by Blaine Moore. You knew you were going to see it at some point. They were just asking for it. And we've seen Blaine lay down better bunts than that. That's just sheer speed.
for sure. He got it down, and there was no way they were going to get him.
Prosper's third base hit is of the infield variety. Both of their hits in game one were on the infield. And now we'll have time.
That was a ball.
That was a balk.
Uh-oh, here comes the coach. He's not happy.
And Coach David Walden says, well, who called that? So Blaine Moore's now in scoring position with nobody out for Tyler Webb as Prosper tries to build on a 2-1 lead.
I don't know how they could call a balk because the first baseman had the ball.
Well, you can't be on the rubber without the ball, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know that at all, but I'm not that much up on the rules. But
let's try to access it. Vamp for me. Talk for a minute while I take a look here.
The umpires are out there discussing it, and the Legacy coach is really adamant that that was not to be. But they are going to uphold it. Blaine's going to stay at second base. Got a runner at second base, nobody out. Tyler Webb at the plate. Dom Yergo on deck. It's looking good here for the Eagles. We need to score some more runs. Tyler stepping in, looking down at Coach Carpenter, see what he's got to say. He's going over the signs.
It is a balk if you stand on or astride the rubber without the ball.
Well, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Blaine Moore now with great speed in scoring position with nobody out for Tyler Webb as Dunn looks down the third baseline. The first pitch is a breaking ball high, ball one. We need a sponsor for that quick reference to the baseball rule book. Here's the 1-0 to Tyler. Strike one.
Wow.
We've got a note from Miles Dunklin here. Giving some love to our engineer, Tanner Long, who's doing a fantastic job. Miles watching from Coppell. Tanner always does a fantastic job. Stroud brings the 1-1. That is smoke to left. That'll be a base hit. Blaine Moore got a late jump. He's going to have to slam on the brakes. Webb takes a very wide turn at first, and Prosper's in business with runners at the corners and nobody out for Dom Yergo. Prosper with 4 base hits now in the game. They lead it 2-1. Dom is 1 for 1 with an RBI double. And the infield's going to come in about halfway. At least it looked that way for a moment. Now they're retreating back to a more normal position. I do not expect we'll see Tyler Webb at first base for very long.
He's tempting them over there. They had a big lead. I was noticing Blaine didn't have a very big lead at second base, and he's got all that speed to get back. I was really surprised that he didn't have a bigger lead. I don't know that Coach Carpenter would have sent him anyway.
First pitch to Dom is a ball. 1-0.
Going to have another visit to the mound by the pitching coach.
Saturday afternoon baseball has been very kind to the Prosper Eagles in the playoffs. They put 17 on the board 2 weeks ago in defeating Woodrow Wilson 17-8 to close that series out. Then they put 17 on the board against the Highland Park Scots last Saturday to win Game 3. They've only got 2 on the board right now, but looking for more as
the coach is pacing. The Legacy
Coach Walden is pacing down toward the bullpen down the first baseline. Winner of this one gets the Hallsville Bobcats in the Region 2 Championship.
I don't have a clue where a neutral site would be between these two.
Well, they played in Mesquite against Liberty.
Really?
Which I'm not sure I'd call that a neutral site. Hallsville's about 2.5 hours east of here. Mesquite is 40 minutes from Frisco.
There you go.
It's 1-0 count to Dom Yergo. Dunn will come in even with the bag at third. Blaine Moore gets a lead. Webb with a decent lead away from first. Stroud's first offering. Second offering, that is. Ball 2, 2-0.
Tyler Webb's getting a very large secondary lead in case the ball gets away from the catcher. He's gone.
Not a lot of space behind the plate. We actually saw a ball earlier in the series hit off the brick below the net and fly back to Austin Medica on the fly.
There is no padding back there. There's padding along the walls down the left and right field line, but none behind home plate.
Dom with a hitter's count. Here comes the 2-0. He was going for the downs there on that breaking ball. Just nubbed it foul, 2-1. Remind you can email us in the broadcast booth. We'd love to hear from you. sospbp@gmail.com. You can also shoot me a note on Twitter @BNSAG. Prosper with runners at first and third and nobody out. Singles by Blaine Moore and Tyler Webb have set the stage for Dom. Here it comes. Ball 3.
If he loses him, this could very well be his last.
Stroud's over 60 pitches. We're in the bottom of the third. Here's a 3-1. Ball 4. They are loaded with nobody out for Dean Smith.
Coach coming to get him right now.
That's going to be it.
Pointing to the bullpen. Right-hander number 15.
It will be Daniel Drzymski coming into the game as we take a look at his statistics on the season. Drzymski has thrown 12 and 2/3 innings. He is 0-2 with an ERA of 3.86. He's allowed 7 earned runs on 14 hits. He has walked 5 and struck out 6. So teams have put the ball in play against him. He is a junior, and he is a righty, and he's coming into the fire. The bases are loaded with nobody out as Cade Stroud has been chased from the game. Stroud not able to rekindle the magic that he delivered in Game 3 against Red Oak in the third-round series, throwing 5 scoreless. Hasn't been bashed around here, but has had some trouble with control, and he has loaded the bases with nobody out as Prosper trying to land a haymaker to set the stage, perhaps, for a trip to the regional final, as we have some more action starting down the right field line as it looks like Garrett Bell is heading down there perhaps to start getting warm. We talked a little bit early in the broadcast. You're not going to leave any bullets in the gun here today. Bell's only thrown 7 pitches, and this is where you run into the flip side of the coin when you've got guys like Cole Herron and Blake Wilson, who coming into the series had both thrown over 80 innings. You know, they ride those guys all season long, and now you're in a situation in a Game 3 where you're having to put kids out there that just don't have a lot of experience.
I was just fixing to say these Bronco relief pitchers haven't had much opportunity to throw this year, and that's good during the season, but when you need them in a case like this, that can be detrimental also.
Prosper has taken 4 walks. They've struck out 3 times as Stroud leaves throwing 2+ innings. He's allowed a couple of earned runs, but all 3 on base are his responsibility. Dean Smith is 1 for 1 with an RBI double. It will be righty versus lefty.
Looks like the corners are going to play in, and the shortstop and second baseman are going to play pretty much normal, but the first baseman and third baseman are in pretty tight.
That basically tells you that Legacy would concede a run for a double play. Drzymski in for the first time in the postseason. The first pitch. Dino takes a first pitch strike, 0-1.
It's just as tough on the hitter coming in cold against a new pitcher as it is the pitcher coming in to face somebody that he hadn't seen either.
I mean, you haven't scouted this kid. You haven't seen him at all. You basically have no idea what he's throwing up there. The 0-1 misses wide, 1-1. 62 pitches for Cade Stroud as he's finished for the day. We've been playing for an hour and 10 minutes. In each of the first 2 games, by this stage on the clock, we were in the 5th inning. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. Only 3 runs on the board. Prosper leading 2-1, but there's no place to put Dino with nobody out. Here's the 1-1. Strike two. Good pitch from Drzemski.
Got good speed at second and third, and Tyler Webb and Blaine Moore. A little base hit will probably score two. Dean can come through. Just put it in play.
Dean's got to get defensive down in the count at 1-2. Here it comes. That is hit to right. Will it fall? It will. One run will score, and we'll go station to station. Dean Smith is 2 for 2 with a couple of RBI, and Prosper leads it 3-1. Blaine Moore comes home. Another two-strike hit for Prosper, as all three of their run-scoring hits in the game have come with 2 strikes.
Cole Heck going into run at first base for Dean. He's going to bring up Anthony Bernardez to the plate. He's been hot in the playoffs and looking to do some more damage here.
Prosper with 3 hits and a walk in the inning. They're still loaded, still nobody out. Prosper a run in. They lead it now 3-1.
Coach Carpenter telling his guys don't get doubled off on a line drive.
Bernardez without an official at bat. He walked in his first plate appearance. First pitch bounces in. Nice job by last year's all-district catcher in 15-4A, Corey Murray. I think when you look at players and sort of project them to the next level, Corey Murray might be the guy that you expect has the brightest future after high school.
He looks good and he swings the bat well from the left side, which is a plus.
Bernardez is ready. Here comes the 1-0. Strike one.
Standing on deck, big Matthew Gonzalez, anxiously awaiting his turn.
Drzemski looks in. The bases are loaded with nobody out. 1 ball, 1 strike count to Bernardez. Here comes the pitch. That is lifted in the air to right. High fly ball. That's going to be trouble. Aaron Johns goes out to play it. He will. Tagging at third is Tyler Webb. Here comes the throw. He will slam on the brakes. They've got him hung up. Tyler Webb in a rundown. Diving back in. They got him on the back. He's out. That is an enormous series of events for Legacy, as it is a fly out by Bernardez, and then Tyler Webb is hung up between third and the plate.
Second baseman caught that ball in short right field and quickly turned and fired to the catcher. And Tyler was going to try to use his speed to score, but it just was not deep enough.
So it looked like Prosper was about to bust this thing open. They have scored a run. They had the bases loaded with nobody out, and now it's runners at first and second with 2 out for Matthew Gonzalez. Drzemski came in with the bases loaded, nobody down. Has given up a base hit to score a run, but that's it. He just got a double play in the field. First pitch to Gonzo. Hit him. They're now loaded for Medica. Year go to third. Heck, the courtesy runner to second. Medica's 0 for 1 with a strikeout, but now they're loaded once again. Prosper with a run in, but they need to do a little bit more with what they've been given here in the bottom of the third. They lead it 3-1. Drzemski's first pitch to Medica. That is smoked up through the box, a base hit! Yergo scores. Perez comes up with it. They're giving Heck the green light. He is safe. A 2-run RBI base hit by Austin Medica, and Prosper leads it 5-1.
They tested the center fielder. He had a great arm, but it was just a little offline, allowing Cole Heck to get in. Great 2-out hitting again by the Prosper Eagles. Brings up Chad Hardy.
Prosper's not done. They have 3 runs in the frame. They lead it now 5-1 in the bottom of the third. We have a courtesy runner. It will be Terry Baker for Medica. Prosper has now sent 8 men to the plate. And They are able to put up the squiggly number here in the third after loading the bases with nobody out. Chad's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. First pitch. Right on the outer black, 0-1. An RBI base hit by Dean Smith, a 2 RBI single by Austin Medica. Medica has RBIs in each of the last 2 games. Prosper leads at 5-1. Chad's ready. Gonzalez away from second. Baker from first. Nubbing it foul was Hardy.
Way out in front of that pitch, that was low and away. That really wasn't a strike, I don't think. Right?
It is 0-2. Prosper has 4 hits in the inning. They have 6 hits through 3 here in Game 3. They had 5 hits through the first 2 games of the series. Grzymski waits to bring the 0-2. Here it comes. That is hit slowly over to third. Dalton Dunn will take it to third by himself. That will retire the side. But Prosper sends 8 men to the plate. 3 of them score on 4 base hits. They leave 2. We are through 3 at Dallas Baptist. Prosper goes to the 4th, leading Mansfield Legacy 5-1. This is Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the SportsGram Network.
At Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, their priority is to deliver quality care to informed patients in a comfortable and convenient setting. When you have dental problems, you need to turn to a dentist who listens and responds, an experienced doctor who knows the field and can effectively diagnose and treat your needs. At Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, located at 110 North Preston Road, their friendly staff meets these criteria. Plus, their dedicated team of trained professionals will give you the individualized attention you deserve. If you have dental needs or questions, give them a call at 972-346-2080 or visit their website at www.prosperdentistryandortho.com to see a full range of their services. Dr. Gilson wants to help you achieve your best smile.
Since 2011, the Prosper Eagles are 3-0 in Game 3 of postseason series. We go to the 4th. Dean Smith now with a 5-1 lead as the senior goes to the bump for his 4th inning of work. He's allowed a run on 4 hits. He's also walked 1, struck out a couple.
I hate to be redundant, but we need a shutdown inning here. When you score, you got to shut them down the next inning. That just, I don't want to say demoralizes them, but doesn't make them feel good. But we need to get them up and down without scoring right here.
Only twice in the playoffs in 9 games has Legacy scored 5 runs. They scored 8 in Game 1 against Red Oak. They scored 5 in Game 2 in a 5-0 win, closing out McKinney North. They're scoring only 3 runs per game in the playoffs. Prosper with 5 through the first 3 innings. They lead it 5-1. Garrett Bell, Carson Houston, Aaron Johns, the 6-7-8 hitters stand in against Dino, who needs to pound the zone. The first pitch, inside, ball 1. That was pitch number 59. Dino.
Bell been down in the bullpen warming up. He's probably going to be the next pitcher we see.
The 1-0. Called strike, 1-1. Bell is 0 for 1 with a fly out to center, the 1-1. That is hit weakly over to Aaron Pierce. He'll scoop it up quickly and fire over to Gonzo. There's 1 down.
Like we used to say in Little League, first man half, which is not very smart thinking, but that's what we used to say anyway. It would be weird to say first man third.
There you go.
But first man's half. We got half the inning. Here we go.
Carson Houston's 0 for 1. One of the 2 punch-out victims for Dino. Takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. And right now is where you need to put the Dylan Bowen video on in the dugout, which is how to pitch with the lead. That's something we've seen Dylan do so well all season long, especially in the playoffs. And now Dino with a 5-1 lead, showing a little bit of that here in the frame. Still can't get that breaking ball over, though. He missed.
To pound that strike zone.
1-1. This is a Legacy team that only slugs .419, so they hit .322 as a ball club, but they don't hit for a lot of power. Here's the 1-1, as that was a couple feet short. Count goes to 2-1 to Houston. You've seen some defense, not only today, but in the series. Steele Walker making a really nice running grab. You mentioned between innings, he got a fantastic jump on that ball off the bat of Mahovsky. to end the last inning. 2-1. Low, ball 3. Prosper with 5 runs on 6 hits. They've left 4 on. Legacy with 1 run on 4 hits. Their lone run is unearned. Prosper with the only error of the series. Here's the 3-1. Strike 2.
Dean's throwing a little quicker today than he normally does. He usually takes a little more time, but he's getting on the rubber and going ahead and bringing it.
Big pitch here for Dino. Payoff offering. That is hit right back to him. Has a look for Houston as he fires over to first. Houston flips the bat over to the on-deck circle. 2 up, 2 down in the Legacy 4th. Prosper leading at 5-1.
The second baseman, number 2, Aaron John.
Aaron Johns, the 8-hole hitter, is 0 for 1 in the game. He bats with 2 down and nobody on. Tyler Webb playing very deep at the fringe of the turf/grass. At deep short. Johns takes the first pitch over, strike 1. Quickly back to work as Dino. The 0-1 is lifted high in the air to left field. Blaine Moore right underneath it. There's your shutdown inning.
That's what we're talking about. Minimum
3
pitches.
up, 3 down on 11 pitches.
That's the way to go, Dino.
We go to the bottom of the 4th. Dean Smith pitching well. The Prosper bats getting hot. Eagles leading 5-1. This is Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the SportsGram Network.
Hey, Billy, want to go to the state fair?
Yeah!
Well, you can't.
Huh?
Well, you see, Billy, when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have done with it. But now your parents are becoming energy efficient. They could save hundreds of dollars a year and take you to the fair next year.
I want to go now.
Oh, I know you do. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Since 2012, Mesa's Mexican Grill has been providing the best in Tex-Mex as well as authentic Mexican cuisine to the communities of Prosper, McKinney, and Frisco. Conveniently located at the corner of University and Prosper Commons Boulevard in Prosper, Mesa's is the place for your next party, corporate get-together, date night, or family meal. Call them at 972-347-3033 for reservations or just drop by and see them at 2111 East University Drive in Prosper. You can find information on their great lunch specials and menus online at mesasmexgrill.com. Mesa's Mexican Grill, a proud sponsor of Prosper Eagle baseball broadcasts on the SportsGram Network. Big inning here for the Prosper Eagles as it's the top of the lineup. Steele Walker, Blaine Moore, and Tyler Webb as the Eagles with a 4-run cushion would like to do some serious damage against Drzynski in for his first full inning of work. Brian Sutcliffe, Ken Mayberry here at Dallas Baptist. The Eagle Sticks finally finding their way as the first offering to Steele took a little bit off. Ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. That is hit to center. Coming in hard is Marcus Perez, then slams on the brakes. That was a big-time hack. He just got underneath that.
Got him on the fist. Took the bat nearly to first base, which he's disgusted. He knows he's better than that.
Blaine Moore got that 3-run inning started in the 3rd inning with an infield bunt single. We've been waiting for it all series long, and the senior finally delivered it.
Third baseman's playing in close this time.
Yeah, now he is. First pitch to Blaine, swing and a miss. Strike 1.
Now what you do, Blaine, is slap it by him.
The 1-0 pitch, the 0-1 pitch misses. It is 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Low and away, ball 2. Blaine Moore ahead of the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Base is empty with 1 out. Blaine's ready. Here comes the 2-1. Little high, ball 3. Haven't seen too many high strikes called in this baseball game. Here comes the 3-1. Strike 2. Looked like a good pitch. Blaine thought maybe he'd taken ball 4. Now at 3-2, Dunn retreats a little bit at third base. Doesn't expect Blaine to try to lay another one down on a full count pitch. Here comes the payoff offering, missed wide, ball 4. That is walk number 5 taken by Prosper hitters. And Blaine Moore is now 1 for 1 with a walk, a run scored, a single, and a sacrifice bunt. A lot of guys who had taken offers in the first couple games, Mr. Mayberry, are making their presence known here in the all-important Game 3.
That's right. Got good speed on at first base and Blaine. Tyler Moore at the plate, just looking to find his pitch.
Blaine is 9 for 10 in stolen bases. He gets a lead. Drzemski having a look over his shoulder. And now there's time called at the plate as both Stroud and now Drzemski really taking their time at the hold. Tyler is 1 for 2. Single and an RBI in the third. Ended up getting hung up on a fly ball that Bernardez lifted to right, reaches out over to Dunn to second for 1. The relay is not in time. So
Tyler's
Webb will reach
himself
on a fielder's choice.
He's kicking himself.
Designated hitter number 35, Dom Yargo.
Dom Yurgo's reached in both plate appearances. An RBI double in the first, walked and scored in the third.
See if Tyler will press the issue here and try to get in the scoring position.
Drzemski has not pitched badly since coming in for Stroud. Another guy that's come in without a lot of experience. Came in with the bases loaded, nobody out. Did give up a couple of runs. Could have been a lot worse. First pitch to Dom. Fouled 0-1. That double for Dom Yurgo was his 9th of the season to go with RBI number 35. He leads the team in ribbies, does Dom. The 0-1 pitched the game of his life last night in one Prosper just quite simply had to have. They had to have Dom at his best, and that's what he provided. A complete game, 4-hit shutout. Didn't get a lot of help from the sticks, but didn't need any. Gave Prosper a 1-0 win. Eagles leading here in the bottom of the fourth, 5-1. Here comes the 1-1. 2-1.
Either one of the last two pitches, if Webb had been on the move, he'd have made it to second easily because they both bounced in. And it's difficult if you bounce it in to get a runner as fast as he is anyway.
Webb on his way to Galveston College. Dom on his way to West Texas A&M. Drzemski's ready. Here comes the 2-1. That is smoked to right, a base hit. Webb will look over at third, but he will pull up at second as Houston fires in quickly, and Prosper looking to get something done with a couple of outs as Yurgo is now 2 for 2 with a single, a double, a walk, and a run scored.
We like these 2-out rallies, Brian. We'll take anything we can get at this point.
7 hits for Prosper. Dean Smith is 2 for 2 with a single, a double, and 2 RBI. Dean Smith, coming into this game, had 3 hits in the playoffs. He was hitting 130 coming into the game yesterday in the postseason. But he is delivering when it counts most, at the plate and on the mound. First pitch to Dean. Low, ball 1.
Get that big home run. It seems like a month ago, but it was just last
Saturday. Yes, it was.
Big home run
last weekend.
Park. It does seem like a long time ago, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. 11 of Dean's 33 hits this season have been 2-baggers. That first inning double was number 11. He's ahead in the count at 1-0. Drzemski fires. Got the inside corner, strike 1. Anthony Bernardez on deck. If Dino can keep the inning alive. Steele Walker led off the inning by flying out to center field. 1-1. That is hit over to Johns at second. He'll have an easy play. Good inning there from Daniel Drzemski. Prosper leaves another couple of runners on. They have stranded 6, but we go to inning number 5. Prosper leading the Legacy Broncos of Mansfield 5-1. You're watching Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the SportsGram Network.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. It's kind of like an elephant is on my chest. I feel like I'm choking. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor, because even one attack is one too many.
I feel like a fish with no water.
Brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
We're at Horner Ballpark on the beautiful campus of Dallas Baptist University. It's game 3 of the best-of-3 set. The Prosper Eagles lead the Legacy Broncos 5-1. Dean Smith has pitched a beauty so far into inning number 5. He has thrown 69 pitches. And if you drew up, Mr. Mayberry, what had to happen for Prosper to get this game, it was get an early lead, check. Had a 2-1 lead after the first. You need Dean Smith to really pitch his guts out here today and at least get you late in the game. Well, here he is pitching into the 5th with a 5-1 lead. And your Sticks need to start finding a way to get something done at the plate. You've got 7 base hits and 5 runs in. So far, so good.
So far, so good. You're right. Just keep doing what you're doing.
This may be the critical half inning of the series for Prosper, as it is the top 3 hitters, make it the 9-1-2 hitters for Legacy. I saw Marcus Perez there in the on-deck circle, thought he was coming up. Probably ought to look down at this score sheet that I have here that tells me what's going on. Chad Watkins is 0 for 1 with a ground out. He is seeing action at the plate for the first time in the series. The left fielder was hit for in the first 2 games. Dino's first pitch. Strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch. As the breaking ball continues to trouble Dean a little bit in the postseason. In his last 3 starts, Dean had a no decision at Frisco. That was a game that Prosper won, but Dean only went 2/3 of an inning. He allowed a couple of earned runs on 3 hits and walked a batter, as the 1-1 pitch is lifted in the air to left center field. Steele Walker has it. 1 down.
You've got to know that these Bronco hitters are frustrated because Dean, I guarantee you, hadn't topped 70 miles an hour today. And he just keeps nibbling, and they pop it up. And I've seen a lot of frustration out of these guys.
Marcus Perez is 1 for 2. Flew out in the first, singled and was stranded in the 3rd. Dean's first pitch bounces in, ball 1. Dean got a loss at Liberty. That was in the 2-1 loss at Liberty, the second game in the 3 that the teams played against each other. He did throw 4 pretty strong innings, scattering 5 hits, allowed 2 earned runs, walked a couple, struck out 2. Here's the 1-0. It's 2-0.
That's the second pitch. He's thrown about 58 feet instead of 60 feet 6 inches.
And then Dean took the loss in Game 2 against Highland Park, going 5 1/3, allowing 5 earned runs. Here's the 2-0, rolling a perfect bunt down the third base line. That's going to be trouble. Bernardez really didn't have a play. Good backup there for Aaron Pierce, as Bernardez might have been wise just to eat that ball. Perez is a nice player. You can see why he's hitting 460.
Yep.
Good contact, great speed.
Team player, whatever it takes to get on base.
5 hits now for Legacy. But their only run was unearned in the first inning. And now Dalton Dunn, who's reached in both plate appearances, he singled and scored the only run for Legacy in the first. He walked in the 3rd. First pitch, strike 1.
runner at first base is not taking a very big lead. He respects Dean's pickoff.
That is a very short lead. The 0-1. Low. 1-1. We have seen 3 runners in the last 2 games steal second base and then be tagged out oversliding the bag. That's something that we have seen, probably not quite to this extent, at the Eagles Nest, which is a similar field turf facility. The 1-1. That is hit over to Tyler Webb. He'll go to the backhand. Going to be a tough play. He'll load and fire. Not enough. Perez goes to second as Dalton Dunn is now 2 for 2. He's also walked. Couple base hits here for Legacy, who hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield. Now Corey Murray, who singled in his last plate appearance, and we start to see some movement in the Prosper dugout as it looks like Hayden Stallings is starting to think about getting warm. As Dino is now up over 70 pitches. Murray stands up there, looks like he's holding a club. First pitch. Blocked by Medica, ball 1. Dean is having to travel through this difficult meet of the Legacy lineup here for the 3rd time. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Runners at first and second. Here comes the 1-0. That is smoked to right. Look out. Track. Hits off the wall. 1 run scores. Walden puts up the stop sign at third. Perez will come around to score. It's an RBI double, and that was smoked from Corey Murray. It is 5-2 Prosper. Perez scores, and Dalton Dunn goes to third. So now Cole Heron bats as the tying run with 2 runners in scoring position and 1 out. After retiring Chad Watkins, the next 3 have reached on base hits. And Coach Sean Stanton's going to take a long, slow walk as the warm-up process for Hayden Stallings is probably accelerating.
Probably throwing underneath the stands instead of out in the bullpen. I don't see anybody out in our bullpen.
Dean Smith allowed just an unearned run, allowing 4 hits through the first 4 innings and throwing 69 pitches, but he's given up 3 base hits. The most recent, a ripped ball into the right center field alley that 2-hopped the fence. Prosper did a nice job getting it back into the infield quickly to limit the damage to just 1 run. Aaron's 0 for 2, but struck out in a really tough at bat. He saw 8 pitches in the 3rd inning. He made really nice contact a couple of times in that appearance. Prosper leading at 5-2. Legacy has a run in here in the top of the 5th. They have runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. The first pitch is a strike. Big pitch there from Dean, 0-1. Dino working from the windup. The 0-1. 1-1. We saw Stallings leave the dugout with Aaron Garcia, but we do not see him throwing. We imagine he is getting warm quickly. There's the 1-1 to Heron. Bounced in, blocked nicely by Medica, 2-1. Sam Mahovsky is on deck. You do have a base open over at first. If Heron's able to reach, Mahovsky would bat as the go-ahead run. 5-2 Prosper. Here's the 2-1. That is hit to left. Hit hard. Hit deep. Hit gone. Off the top of the wall. A 3-run homer by Cole Heron has tied the game at 5. Cole Herron's 4th home run of the year, and you kind of saw that coming. He made really good contact in that last at-bat, and Legacy has responded with a 4 spot, and there is still just 1 out here in the 5th. We're where we started, even at 5.
It's too bad that ball was smoked, though. There's a building out there, and it landed on the roof, whatever that is.
That looks like it's probably a bullpen apparatus of some kind, and that's going to do it for Dean Smith. The score sheet is going to show that Dean allowed 5 runs here. 4 of them are going to be earned. But he pitched his guts out, just ran out of gas a little bit. You want to credit the Legacy hitters as well for getting the timing down a bit. But Dean gave you what you wanted, got you to the 5th inning here in a ball game. Prosper led it 5-1, and Dean will leave with the score tied at 5. Hayden Stallings will be the man in to face Sam Mahovsky. Stallings, a 3-0 record with a 3.16 ERA in 24 1/3 innings. He has allowed 11 earned runs on 23 hits. He has struck out 19 while walking 13. Brand new ball game here, Mr. Mayberry. You knew that Legacy had one last surge in them. You wondered if Prosper was going to be able to survive one more run through the lineup, but just a little bit too much as the last 4 reached on base hits. Dean Smith is going to go to first base.
Well, Hayden is complete opposite of Dean. He got a pretty good fastball and a decent curveball, so Legacy will have to do some adjusting here.
We said during the open that after 2 fantastic pitching matchups, Game 1 won by Legacy 2-0, and then the game yesterday won by Prosper 1-0. You were going to have a battle of bullpens. He said this may be a slugfest, and that's what looks like we're going to get. As we're on the top of the 5th, these teams are tied at 5 after a 3-run jack by Cole Herron. His second 3-run homer of the playoffs.
Speaking of Herron, would you like to speculate right here?
Well, it looks like there is a lefty getting warm in the Bronco bullpen.
That's him.
I can't see a number right there. You say you can see it.
16.
If that is a 16 on his back, then it looks like Cole Herron's getting set to come into this one.
Yep.
The inning started with Prosper leading 5-1. We've now got the bases empty and 1 out, and we're tied at 5. The first pitch from Hayden Stallings. It's a good fastball for a strike to Sam Mahovsky, 0-1.
Hayden needs to just come in and relax and throw that fastball and let his fielder do their work.
The 0-1 misses low, 1-1. So that will close the book on Dean Smith. He goes 4 1/3. He allows 5 runs, 4 earned on 8 hits. 1-1 misses inside, 2-1. Only walked 1, struck out a couple. There's the 2-1. There's a good fastball pumped on the outer edge, 2-2. Dino gave you what you needed. And he's more than done his job at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Stallings to Mahovsky. Low, ball 3. The Legacy fans now with an excuse to get a little rowdy. Prosper has significantly outdrawn the Bronco fans in the entire series. Here's the payoff pitch. That is topped over to Tyler Webb. He'll have to wait on it for a minute, but he'll have time. 2 down. So here we are in Game 3, and your pitchers of record are Hayden Stallings and Dan Drzemski. Until we see Cole Herron probably very shortly. First pitch is a breaking ball for a called strike to Garrett Bell.
Last night's starter is down there also.
Blake Wilson only threw about 78 pitches yesterday. The 0-1. Strike two. The no-ball, two-strike pitch. Breaking ball. Got him swinging.
Good job, Hayden.
Nice job by Hayden Stallings after he watches the Legacy Broncos score 4 runs to tie the game. It is a brand new game as we go to the bottom of the 5th. A 4 spot for the Broncos is what they needed to tie it. It's Prosper 5, Legacy 5. You're watching Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the SportsGram Network.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden...
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
Don't wait. Call 911 immediately.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Well, we knew we were going to see him before the end of this one, and it is the bottom of the 5th inning, and Cole Herron has come into the game for Legacy. He had the 3-run game-tying homer in the top half of the frame through a complete game 2-hit shutout with 12 strikeouts in Game 1 to get the win. He's going to try to repeat what he did in Game 3 against Red Oak in that series. Was dominant in Game 1 and then came to throw 2 innings in that game to win 1-0. He comes in now in a 5-5 game as Prosper is being out-hit 8-7.
I know this is a big game and everything, but I hate to try to outguess their coach, but if it were me, I don't know that I'd bring him in. I mean, these are young kids, and he just threw. It doesn't matter.
He threw about 100 pitches on Thursday.
And here he is Saturday afternoon. That's tough on anybody.
Certainly not unusual in a Game 3 as Hayden Stallings is now going to bat. He's in the on-deck circle. It'll be Anthony Bernardez, Hayden Stallings, and Austin Medica against Cole Herron, who allowed just 2 infield hits on Thursday. The first pitch misses outside, ball 1. And that's probably the worst we've seen Herron miss in the series. Threw about 100 pitches on Thursday, the 1-0. Missed outside, 2-0. Bernardez is 0 for 1. He walked in the first, popped out to the shortstop in the third in a play that turned into a double play. 2-0. There's that good fastball. 2-1. Herron will get that fastball into 84, 86 range. There's the 2-1. Check swing. Strike 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Bases empty. Here comes the pitch to Bernardez. Tried to go back door, but not close on the 2-2 pitch. Bernardez works it full. Only walked 1 batter on Thursday. It was Chad Hardy. Struck out 12 Eagles, which tied a season high for Prosper. Oh, my. That's ridiculous. Bernardez strikes out as he asked for time. It was not granted. Coach Carpenter now wants time to have a word. I'm curious as to what the decision-making process to say, I'm not going to give you time.
He asked it multiple times, too. And he wasn't in his motion or even close to it.
But I guess if you're the hitter and you call time and it's not granted, you got to be ready to get in there and swing. But I think it's pretty unusual that you're asked to have time and not have it granted. So there's 1 out after the strikeout. Cole Herron in the game faces Hayden Stallings, a 267 hitter. The first pitch misses, ball 1.
Coach Carpenter left the field to go in the dugout to talk to Bernardez about it.
1-0 pitch busts over the inside edge. 1-1. This is just the second at bat of the playoffs for Hayden. 1-1. Fighting it off was Stallings. 1-2. And the vibe of this game has certainly turned over the last 20 minutes or so. It looked like Prosper was starting to cruise a little bit, and now Legacy has tied the game. They've got their workhorse on the mound. Here's the pitch. Just missed. 2-2. Austin Medica had a 2 RBI base hit in his last plate appearance in the third. He stands in the on-deck circle. Here's the 2-2. High chopper. That's an in-between ball. Johns will come over, fire to first. There's 2 out.
Good play. He charged that ball. He had to come hard for it in order to get Stallings at first base.
Austin Medica's 1 for 2 with a couple of ribbies. Prosper scored 2 in the first, 3 in the third. Trying to keep up their streak of scoring in every other inning. They got some work to do. First pitch from Herron. Starting to lock in a little bit. Strike 1. Medica takes a moment out of the box. Now he locks back in. The 0-1. Missed outside. 1-1. One of these teams will take on the Hallsville Bobcats. With a pitcher by the name of Connor Reich, who is a legitimate Major League prospect. Struck out 18 in a playoff game earlier this year. 1-1. Strike 2. Here's the 1-2. That is hit the other way. That's going to be trouble. Down the line. It is a fair ball. Medica takes a wide turn. He'll have to slam on the brakes. Says nice play out there by Chad Watkins to get to it quickly. And Chad Hardy bats with a runner at first. And 2 out. Prosper and Legacy tied at 5 in the bottom of the 5th. Terry Baker will come in to run. Austin Medica has base hits in each of his last 2 appearances. Teams even in runs at 5, even in hits at 8. If Hardy can reach, Steele Walker would bat. That's just the 3rd hit against Herron in the series. We've seen some lefties going the other way in this game, Mr. Mayberry.
Yes, sir. Ooh, had him off balance that time. Third baseman's playing him kind of tight. He didn't want to take a chance him laying one down, but with Hardy's speed, I think he could beat out a bunt pretty easily.
Dalton Dunn almost even with the bag at 3rd. Here's the pitch from Herron. 0-2.
That base hit was also the first one to the outfield, the first to the infield variety.
That is very true. Prosper only got 2 balls out of the infield in the whole game against Herron on Thursday. Chad's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. He's down in the count at 0-2. Here comes the pitch from Herron. That lifted out of play. Chad's hanging tough. Turned 17 on Thursday.
I can nearly remember when I was 17.
That was just a couple years ago.
Yeah, right.
No balls, 2 strikes, as Herron remains in control of the at-bat. Here comes the pitch.
Got around on that one.
Nearly taking out some teammates. Been at it for nearly 2 hours. We're in the bottom of the 5th.
First 2 games were over by this time.
There are 16 base hits in this game. There were 17 total between the teams in the first 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Runner away from first, 2 out. Here it comes from Herron. That got away from Murray for a moment. Good eye from Chad. Count goes to 1-2.
Baker made a wise decision not to try to go to second on that because he didn't get away from the catcher very far.
Hardy entering play this weekend with a .359 average. The 1-2. Check swing and went around.
Said he swung at it.
2 punch-outs for Cole Heron. Prosper can't do anything with the Austin Medica single. We go to the 6th. Prosper and Legacy tied at 5. This is Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the SportsGram Network.
At Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, their priority is to deliver quality care to informed patients in a comfortable and convenient setting. When you have dental problems, you need to turn to a dentist who listens and responds, an experienced doctor who knows the field and can effectively diagnose and treat your needs. At Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, located at 110 North Preston Road, their friendly staff meets these criteria. Plus, their dedicated team of trained professionals will give you the individualized attention you deserve. If you have dental needs or questions, give them a call at 972-346-2080 or visit their website at www.prosperdentistryandortho.com to see a full range of their services. Dr. Gilson wants to help you achieve your best smile.
Hayden Stallings in for his first full inning of work, as Legacy will try to take their first lead since the first inning. As we're in the top of the 6th, it's Prosper and Legacy tied at 5. I'm Brian Sutcliffe with Ken Mayberry. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Eric Manto, who's down in Austin this weekend. He's checking us out at sportsgram.net. We'd love you to shoot us a note in the booth at sospvp@gmail.com or on Twitter at BNSAG.
Leading off for the Broncos, number 1.
Prosper has left 7 men on base in the game. Will be the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Houston, Johns, and Watkins as the first pitch is a called strike from Hayden Stallings. In relief of Dean Smith is the 0-1. That is hit over Anthony Bernardez, who had come in against a possible bunt. If he's in his normal place, that's a routine grounder. But it's a leadoff man on. 9 hits on the day for Legacy, who have scored 5 runs in a playoff game for just the 3rd time in the postseason. Aaron Johns is 0 for 2. He's up there in prime bunt opportunity. Bernardez thinks it's coming. He squares and pushes it down the first base line. That's going to be big trouble. Stallings fires. Nice scoop to Dino. 1 down. That was played beautifully.
Good job by Hayden on that when he got off the mound in a hurry, because that was an excellent bunt.
You don't get Johns, you start worrying about things. Now Chad Watkins bats with a runner at 2nd and 1 out.
He was not only sacrificing, he was going for the base hit at the same time.
Watkins is 0 for 2 for ground out and a line out. First pitch from Stallings. Just missed a little inside, ball 1. Marcus Perez, the number 1 hitter in the on-deck circle. He has base hits in his last 2 plate appearances. Here's the pitch. Just punched the other way, but foul, 1-1. Watkins had not had an at-bat in the series prior to today's Game 3. The starters will not factor in the decision here today. The 1-1. Breaking ball high, 2-1. Truly a battle of the bullpens at this point. Carson Houston strides away from 2nd. He represents the go-ahead run. There's the 2-1 pitch. Can't catch up to the gas, 2-2.
You just can't hit those when they're in your eyes. No way, no how.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Big pitch here for Hayden Stallings, who came in and threw 8 pitches to wriggle out of some trouble in the 5th after Legacy had scored 4 runs to tie the game. Recorded the final 2 outs, did Hayden. Here's the 2-2. And it's lifted back into foul territory. Medica will go have a look at it. He won't have a play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Go ahead run at second. As Watkins will go have a word with Coach David Walden in his 5th season here at the helm, has over 380 career wins. Also had coaching stops at Canyon, Randall, and Weatherford. Went to the regional semis in 2010, his first season at the school. Repeated the trick last year where they were swept by the Liberty Redhawks. And now they're pitched in a Game 3 struggle with Prosper, a tie game at 5 in the 6th. We'll try the 2-2 again. That is hit to left. Base hit in front of Blaine Moore. Walden puts up the stop sign. The throw is cut off. And Marcus Perez will bat with runners at the corners and just 1 out. 4 unanswered runs for Legacy as the Broncos trying to start to maybe take control of this game and perhaps the series here in the late innings.
Dylan Bowen going down to start to throw. They've got under the seats behind the home team dugout, there's an indoor facility there, and that's where they're throwing rather than going out to the dugout. It's a squeeze.
Squeeze. That will fire down to second. The throw will be cut off. Felt like a safety squeeze as Perez was going to try to put that into play. But instead, Chad Watkins takes second. And now runners in scoring position at second and third with 1 out. They have not flashed up on the screen what the call was.
Had to be a strike.
Like he offered at it.
Yes. Now he called it a ball. Goodness.
Now there's time called, and they will intentionally walk Perez. So Perez has now reached in his last 3 plate appearances on a couple of singles and an intentional walk. That will set up a double play for Dalton Dunn, who has reached in all 3 plate appearances, a couple of singles and a walk. The game is tied, but the bases are loaded with 1 out. Cole Heron is on the mound for Legacy. And there's time being given as the home plate umpire makes special effort to say that it was granted to the catcher. After Anthony Bernardez in the last inning was called out on strikes when he tried at least twice to call time, it was not granted and really wasn't even addressing the plate when the ball crossed the dish. Here's the first pitch to Dunn. There's a called strike, 0-1. So you get to these third games, Mr. Mayberry, and you put your hopes and dreams in the hands of guys that haven't played that much through district. The 0-1, there's strike 2.
Wow. The infield played about halfway in. They get one hit right to them, they'll try to turn the double play. If not, they'll try to get the force at home.
Dunn steps out for a minute. No one that Prosper has thrown up there has done very well against Dunn in the series. No balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Bit of a waste pitch there from Hayden. Carson Houston at third, Chad Watkins at second, Marcus Perez at first. We're in a tie game. Here comes the 1-2. Breaking ball. Over to Tyler Webb. He'll go to second for 1. The relay. Not in time. That scores a run, and Legacy has taken the lead 6-5. An RBI fielder's choice for Dalton Dunn.
Hey, the Eagles made a valiant effort there, but that ball just was not hit hard enough to turn the double play.
That is the 3rd RBI of the series for Dalton Dunn, and it's given the Broncos a 6-5 lead. Legacy has scored 5 runs in the last 2 innings after Prosper led it 5-1. And they're not done yet. Corey Murray nearly homered in his last at bat at an RBI double. The first pitch. Strike 1. That was a good pitch to Dunn from Stallings. He didn't get much on it. In fact, he didn't get enough on it to turn a double play that would have ended the inning. And credit Dunn for motoring down first. to thwart a potential inning-ending double play. Cole Herron in the on-deck circle. Legacy into double figures in hits with 10. Stallings is ready. Here comes the pitch. Low, 1-1.
Surely they didn't give him a hit on that last.
No, sir, not on that.
Okay.
Houston and Watkins had singles in the inning to give them 9 and 10.
Okay.
Watkins now at third. The 1-1 misses, 2-1.
You got to get this man. You don't want Herron coming up with the base.
No, you don't. Who homered to bring home 3 and tie the game. He is now on the mound with a lead. Here's the 2-1. High, 3-1. In the 6th, Prosper will have the 1-2-3 hitters in the lineup. Three balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, runners at the corners. Here comes the pitch. Strike call. I'm not sure where Mr. Murray thought that was.
Well, the runner at first will be in motion here. Full count, 2 outs.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Maybe the pitch of the game for Stallings. Here it comes. Popped up. This will be playable. Bernardez in foul territory. Has got it. Legacy leaves a couple, but they score a run on a pair of hits. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Legacy scored 5 straight. They flipped a 5-1 deficit into a 6-5 lead. You're watching Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the SportsGram Network.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ball in street? Girl in street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The pressure's on your Prosper Eagles now as they trail 6-5 in the bottom of the 6th. Steele Walker, Blaine Moore, Tyler Webb to dig in for the first time in this game against Cole Herron, who threw about 100 pitches on Thursday. Came into this game in a 5-5 tie. It was a 5-5 tie because he hit a 3-run homer in the top of the 5th.
The Eagles are going to have to figure out a way to get a run or 2 here against Mr. Herron. It's going to be difficult, but I've got all the confidence in the world in these guys.
Prosper's being out hit 10-8. We didn't see but 1 extra base hit in the first 2 games of the series, and now we've seen extra base knocks aplenty between the teams in this decisive 3rd game. Steele is 0 for 1 officially. He walked in his first 2 plate appearances and then popped out to center in the 4th. Steele was the area player of the week after the Woodrow Wilson series that saw him knock in 9 runs, 8 of them in 1 game. He takes the first pitch low for a ball. 1-0. The 1-0 pitch misses, 2-0. Steele with a hitter's count. Here comes the 2-0. Perfectly placed by Herron. That's what we saw all night long on Thursday. He gets into a hitter's count, then drops that pitch right on the back door. Here's the 2-1. Check swing. Did he go? No, sir. That's a good call. Prosper's had the leadoff hitter a couple times in this game. Here comes the 3-1 to Steele. Just getting a piece. That'll fill the count out. SOSPBP@gmail.com is the place. Let us know where you're watching. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, nobody on. Heron to Walker. Just missed, ball 4. That is the 3rd walk of the game by Steele Walker. But the first that Prosper's taken since the 3rd inning. That's number 6 of the day. Dalton Dunn's already in at the cut of the grass after Blaine Moore pushed an infield bunt single in the 3rd. Came around to score in that inning as well. He's reaching his last 2 appearances on a single and a walk. Walker gets his lead. Heron with a good pickoff move, squaring. Taking ball 1 is Moore.
He's going to have to push it up the first base line because the third baseman is right down on top of him.
This would be a time he should just pop one right over his head, like happened in the last inning.
High chopper
from Houston. 1 ball, no strikes. Tying run at first, nobody out. Heron working out of the stretch. Here it comes, squaring again, pulling it back, ball 2.
We noticed the other night that Heron was not nearly as effective out of the stretch as he was from the full windup. Not that he was not effective, but...
Oh, he was pretty effective. Struck out 12, walking only 1 and allowing 2 infield hits. Here's the 2-0, squaring again as Moore is just begging to give himself up, but Heron can't throw it over the plate. 3 balls and no strikes. The tying run's on at first, and Blaine Moore's ahead 3-0. Squaring again, pulling it back. Just barely got the corner, 3-1. Starting to see some shadows on the corner ballpark field here. Home of the DBU Patriots. Heron's ready to bring the 3-1. It's on its way. It is bunted over to 3rd. They're going to have a play at 2nd. They get the lead run.
Wow. He had to bunt that up the first baseline. He bunted it right to the 3rd baseman. Easy play at 2nd.
Tyler Webb's 1 for 3. RBI single in the 3rd, struck out in the 1st, reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. But Moore with very good speed now at 1st with 1 out. They'll start to work on Blaine. Speed has been Prosper's best weapon this season. Speed up and down the lineup. The stolen base has been a much more significant portion of their attack as well this year. First pitch to Tyler, missed outside, 1-0. Last year, Prosper only stole about 32 bases all season long. They've stolen over 80 coming into this series this year. 1 ball, no strikes. Blaine Moore, the tying run at 1st with 1 out. Heron delivers. Ate Tyler up. They're going to appeal down to 1st, which I guess we're not going to get a call. It is 1-1. They call it a strike at the plate. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Heron over to 1st. Moore does not have a huge lead. 6-5 Legacy, bottom 6. Here's the 1-1. 1-2.
Way outside.
Tyler Webb last season was on numerous all-state teams. As a second baseman last year, he's moved over to the shortstop side of the bag in his senior campaign. Behind in the count at 1-2. Here it comes. That is a defensive swing and a pop-up to short right. Aaron Johns is under it. There's 2 down. It'll be up to Dom Yurgo to keep the inning going. He's reached in all 3 trips to the plate. An RBI double, a single, a walk, and a run scored. Blaine Moore over at first. Cole Herron has came in to start the 5th inning and has done largely what he did in game 1, which is handcuff these Eagles. First pitch, ball 1. Herron hasn't quite shown the control we saw on Thursday, but the Eagles have not gotten many good pitches to hit. Herron on his way to Weatherford College along with his battery mate, Corey Murray, the 1-0. That is smoked to left, right at Chad Watkins. We go to the 7th. Legacy leading Prosper 6-5. This is Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the SportsGram Network.
Hi, this is Kenny Chesney for RAD. There are a lot of things we have no control of in life, but that doesn't include drunk driving. Be smart. If you drink, don't drive. Think ahead and choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
It's a kiss, it's a sip of wine, it's summertime.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Prosper Eagles led this game after the 3rd, 5-1, but they have not scored since. Legacy has scored 5 runs in their last 2 trips to the plate, and they lead the Prosper Eagles as we go to the 7th, 6-5. I'm Brian Sutcliffe, along with the great Ken Mayberry, as well as Tanner Long, doing the engineering and running the camera. And leading off, probably your MVP of the series at this point, Cole Herron. This result holds. Herron is 1 for 3, but his last hit, a big one, a 3-run homer that tied the game. It was 5-2 Prosper when Herron came to the plate with a couple on, and he put one off the bullpen and left. First pitch is a little low, ball 1. Herron will be followed by Sam Mahofsky and Garrett Bell. Hayden Stallings in for his 2nd full inning of work. The 1-0 is taken for a strike, 1-1. One pitch, got way underneath it. That's going to head toward the Prosper dugout. Bernardez gets it measured. He won't have a play. It's on the crowd side of the net. 1-2. Prosper's been out hit 10-8. Legacy does have an unearned run in the game. That came in the 1st inning. Dean Smith pitched very well into the 5th before he was hit for 4 runs. The 1-2 hit right back under the glove of Stallings. Pierce over to get it. He won't have a play. That'll be an infield single. And right now the bounces are going the way of the Broncos. 11 hits. Herron's got good speed, so he stays in at first for Mahofsky.
Now they pitch run for him. They don't want to wear him out on the base pass. He's got one more inning to pitch. Here comes Coach Carpenter.
Looks like they brought Seth Jaggers in to run. Thank you very much.
Bringing in Dylan Bowen.
So now the game will be decided by the Game 1 pitchers. Not too shabby from Mr. Stallings. He leaves with a runner at first and nobody out as Nathan Colon is going to come in to play second. And the reason I believe you're seeing Cologne come in, I think we're going to see some double switch kind of move here that allows Matthew Gonzalez to perhaps hit, I think, in the bottom of the frame. You may see Gonzo, but Nathan Cologne now out at second as he replaces Pierce. I think Coach Carpenter understands with Cole Herron on the mound, Prosper probably cannot allow Legacy to score another run here in the inning, as they have yet to score against Herron through about 9 innings on the mound. Bowen was a hard luck loser in game 1. Went all 6, allowed just a couple of runs on 8 hits. We asked him before if he had a couple innings in him. He said he did. Let's hope he has to pitch multiple innings.
That would be nice.
Unless Prosper can maybe walk it off in the bottom of the 7th. We're in the top of the 7th. Legacy leading Prosper 6-5. There's a runner at first and nobody out as Dylan Bowen has come in relief of Hayden Stallings, who had replaced the starter Dean Smith. And Bowen will face Sam Mahovsky, who is 1 for 3, had an RBI single in the first. Mahovsky now 4 hits in the series, as Bernardez comes in at third, expecting a possible bunt. He squares, pulls it back. Bowen's high on the first pitch, 1-0. Squaring again, popping the bunt up and pushing it foul was Mahovsky, 1-1. Be a nice moment for a strikeout here from Dylan. Bowen on the season, 6-2 with a 2.37 ERA in just about 80 innings. Struck out 60 while walking 24. He's allowed 27 earned runs on 72 hits. There's the 1-1. Mahovsky takes a high breaking ball, 2-1. You've got Bell, Houston, and Johns coming up after Mahovsky. I think if you're Dylan, you want to give him something to put into plays. Clearly willing to give himself up. He'll take it out here gladly. 2-1. That's pushed to the first base side. Bowen will fire down to second, and it's into center field. So Prosper comes away with nothing on the Eagles' second error of the game.
He had him. He just threw it over Tyler's head out into center field. But thank goodness that Steele was paying attention and backing it up and didn't allow the runner to go to third.
So Mahovsky will reach on a fielder's choice.
E1.
And Jaggers, the courtesy runner, moves to second on an E1. Gut check time for the Prosper Eagles. They got runners at first and second. Does Legacy with nobody out, and this time pushing it down the third base line. This is Bell. This will be trouble. Dylan fires over to first. Nice play as Nathan Cologne covering. But that moves Jaggers and Mahovsky into scoring position. And I would imagine, yep, you're going to see the infield come in. Carson Houston is 1 for 3. Singled and scored in the 6th. His is the run that has given Legacy a 6-5 lead. First pitch, breaking ball, strike 1. Bernardez in at third, Webb at short, Nathan Cologne at second, and Dean Smith at first. Outfield playing straight away, but coming in a bit. Bowen brings the 0-1. That is smoked just foul.
Prosper fans coming to their feet, encouraging Dylan and the team to get these last two outs with giving up a run. Give ourselves a chance in the bottom of the seventh.
Terry Moore has sent us a note, as he has done in just about every game this season at the Sportsgram Network broadcast booth. Bowen ahead in the count at 0-2. Carson Houston waiting on it. Here it comes. Still 0-2. Prosper will have the 5, 6, 7 hitters. In the bottom of the seventh, they're hoping to come up trailing by just a run. But Legacy has runners at second and third with one out. Here comes the 0-2. We have a nice battle going on here between Carson Houston and Dylan Bowen. Bowen, the third pitcher of the game for the Eagles. What's at stake? A berth in the Class 4A Region 2 Championship against the Hallsville Bobcats. Prosper looking for their first journey to the regional final since 1984. Mansfield Legacy looking for their first trip to the regional final in their school's history. They've been open since 2007. This is their third time to this round. They've never been able to kick that door down. Bowen looks in, works off that first base side of the rubber where he's nice and company. Here comes the 0-2. Low, ball one. First four pitches to Houston were strikes. Foul balls worked in there as well. We're at about 2.5 hours now. 1-2. Slow roller to the left side. That will not score a run as Webb fires over. That's exactly what the Eagles needed. There's two down.
Good defensive positioning there. Ball hit just to Tyler's right. He made a good clean play. Put the runner back to third and fired over to Dean at first base. 2 away.
Aaron Johns is 0 for 2. Also has a sacrifice bunt. The number 8 hitter had the series-winning hit against Red Oak. The game-winning RBI, a game that the Broncos won 1-0. They lead here 6-5. First pitch to Johns. Nice play by Austin Medica. It's 1-0. Chad Watkins, the number 9 hitter, on deck. You do have an empty base. Although Watkins did have a base hit in his last plate appearance.
Fans giving the umpire a hard time for letting the batter call timeout there.
One ball, no strikes, 2 outs, runners at second and third. Bowen ready, here it comes. That is hit to right, that will fall foul. Prosper still breathes by maybe about 8 inches. You never know what's going to happen in the seventh, but that would have played it 2. It would have given Legacy a 3-run lead, and against Cole Heron, a pitcher against whom Prosper has not scored in the series, that takes a difficult task and makes it maybe impossible. Instead, it's a terrifying strike. Eagles dodge a bullet. Can they capitalize? 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. 2-1. Bowen comes to the set. The 2-1. Breaking ball.
It's a little high.
3-1. You had a feeling when Prosper was up 5-1 heading to the 5th inning, they were 1/2 inning away maybe from putting the hammerlock on the series. But Legacy, as you might expect from a top 10 state-ranked team, answered with 4 runs in the 5th to tie it. They now lead 6-5. Here's the 3-1. Fouled straight back. Prosper managed to retire the first hitter in that 5th inning. The next 4 then reached on a couple of singles, a double, and a 3-run bomb from Heron. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners at second and third. Bowen shakes off a couple of signs. Here comes the payoff pitch. Lifted in the air. Tyler Webb's underneath it. He'll be called off by Blaine Moore, who's got it. Prosper escapes.
Go to the bottom of the 7th.
We go to the bottom of the 7th. Prosper needs 1 to tie it, 2 to go to the regional finals. Legacy leads Prosper 6-5 as we go to the bottom of the 7th on the SportsGram Network.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text.
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. So many comments on my comment. Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Mom, what? Huh? What'd you say?
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Six to 5 Legacy as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Cole Heron will face Dean Smith, Anthony Bernardez. And we will see who will hit.
Gonzalez has a helmet on.
It looks like Matthew Gonzalez has a helmet on his noggin. Legacy 3 outs away from their first trip to the regional final. They lead by just a run, 6-5. Dean Smith had one of his best games of the postseason. He is 2 for 3 with a single, a double, and a couple of ribbies. We'll go lefty versus lefty. As Dunn is in about halfway at third.
They don't know Dino like we do.
First pitch, low, ball 1. There's the 1-0. Strike called, 1-1. Nobody in green sitting. Dean's ready for the 1-1 from Heron. Breaking ball, high, 2-1. We continue to see both teams' pitchers being denied that high strike. Dino ahead at 2-1. Here comes the pitch. 3-1. Anthony Bernardez on deck. Dino's up 3-1. Here comes the pitch. Ball 4. The tying run is on. Now will Rick Carpenter elect to run for Dean Smith. Here comes Cole Hecht. Anthony Bernardez is 0 for 2. He walked in the first, popped out in the third. How big does that run look right now that got hung up between third and the plate, as I hate to bring that up at this particular moment?
Well, we can go back and second guess all we want to. I mean, you know, if Coach Carpenter would have taken Dean out one batter earlier.
Oh, certainly. Who knows? You look at individual plays in the course of a game, and you sort of start asking yourself, what if? Here comes Dalton Dunn in at third as Bernardez struck out in the 5th. Struck out looking when he had requested time. It was not granted. Squares to bunt. The pitch is low and inside. Ball 1. Cole Heron threw over 100 pitches on Thursday.
Pitching coach going out to have a little talk. before he crosses the line, coach wanted to know how many visits he's had.
He's thrown over 40 pitches here, has Heron. So for the weekend, he is well over 140 pitches.
Don't get me started.
He has not looked as sharp as he did on Thursday, but he's been good enough. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Prosper needs a run to tie, 2 to win. Anthony Bernardez bats as the winning run with the tying run at first and nobody out. Bernardez, the leading hitter for Prosper in the postseason, hitting over 600. He's ahead of the count at 1-0. Heron a look over. Hecht just barely gets back in. That was a fantastic pickoff move, and Hecht was leaning the other way.
Wow. That's all I got to say. Wow.
Here's the 1-0. Square into bunt. Bernardez puts it off the plate. 1-1. Rick Carpenter sending the signals over to Cole Hecht. Coach Carpenter, he of the 725 career wins, picked up number 700 earlier this season. Bernardez waits on the 1-1. I'm not sure Hecht was far enough off the bag to need to slide at all. Pretty much as soon as he hit the turf, the hand was on the bag. Heron comes to the set. Bernardez waits on the 1-1. Here it comes. Bernardez pushes the bunt. First base side, it will die. This is going to be some trouble. Perfectly executed sac bunt. Moves Cole Hecht, the tying run into scoring position with 1 out.
Sure would be a good time for a long fly right here by Mr. Matthew Gonzalez.
He's got a homer in the postseason. It was on a Saturday afternoon 2 weeks ago.
If he can square one up, he's definitely got the power.
Gonzalez is 0 for 1 officially in a couple of plate appearances. He flew out and was hit by a pitch. The first offering misses outside, ball 1. Austin Medica on deck. Medica has singles in each of his last 2 at-bats. 1 down, tying run at second. Prosper needs a run to tie. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Comes a pitch.
Ooh, he had a good swing there. Just didn't quite get it.
Cole Heron trying to throw 3 innings to get the win and send his team to the regional final. The 1-1. Strike 2.
Wow. Way off the plate. Way off the plate.
As you look at the screen, we're actually on the other side of the plate, so we have a little bit different view than our viewers at home and wherever you may be have. Time is granted at the plate. And every time now a hitter is given time, the home plate umpire is razzed by the Prosper players and fans. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out. Cole Hecht represents the tying run. He's at second. Here comes the 1-2. Just getting a piece. Foul ball.
Had a big rip there, just barely missed it.
Hecht not being held at second. Heron remains ahead of the count at 1-2. Here's the pitch to Gonzo. Just missed outside, and David Walden is furious.
That ball was clearly off the plate, at least 6 inches, maybe even more. And the coach is really giving the umpire a mouthful.
The big junior waits. Here's the 2-2. Stays alive. Six runs on 11 hits, no errors for Legacy. 5 runs on 8 hits, 2 defensive miscues for the Eagles. Prosper finishing up its 10th playoff game of the 2014 postseason, hoping to extend it to at least 11 by making it to the regional final. Turning and looking Cole Heck back to second. Was Heron, nobody covering. Prosper led the game 5-1, but they have not scored since the 3rd inning when they put a 3 spot on board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner away from second. Here it comes. That is hit to right. It is foul. Gonzalez will see at least 8 pitches in the at-bat, as Heron has got to be now over 150 pitches for the weekend. I guess you're going to dance with who brung you. We'll try the 2-2 again. 3-2. Gonzalez will see pitch number 9. Gonzalez can reach. He'd represent the winning run. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. Both Prosper's runners on base by way of walk. Medica's 2 for 3 with a couple of RBI. And Coach Rick Carpenter is going to go have a word with the home plate umpire, as we will see a courtesy runner now for Matthew Gonzalez. Baker pats Rick Carpenter on the back, says, "I got it, Coach." Terry Baker represents the winning run.
And David Anderson has on the tallest rally cap I've seen.
He has got about, if you look over in the Prosper dugout right now, Tanner Long, who can't hear us, I suppose. I don't know why I think that he can hear us from the booth. I guess I thought we're ESPN, where, everyone's got headsets on and we got producers and stuff.
There you go.
That's the kind of experience we bring here. It's an ESPN-like experience, and you just assume those kind of things are in place as we pull the curtain back a little bit. Lefty on lefty. Heron's first offering to Austin Medica, pops it up, foul territory. Dalton Dunn's got it, and Prosper's down to their final out.
Chad Hardy strolling to the plate. The last hope for the Prosper Eagles for the 2014 season.
The Legacy fans come to their feet. Chad Hardy has not reached in the game. He struck out twice and grounded out. Steele Walker in the on-deck circle. Prosper has the tying and winning runs on base at first and second. There are 2 outs. Heron's first pitch. Outside, ball 1. Heron ready to bring the 1-0. It's on its way. Ball 2. Heron ain't missing by much.
Would I love to see Steele Walker get one more chance at Mr. Heron.
That means Chad Hardy has to reach. Here's the 2-0. 3-0. Three balls and no strikes to Chad Hardy. Steele Walker is on deck. If Hardy walks, Walker would bat with the bases loaded and 2 out.
don't think we'll see Mr. Hardy swinging right here.
I do not think so. 3 balls, no strikes. Runners away from first and second. Here comes the pitch. Strike 1. Three and 1. Tying and winning runs on. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. And here comes Coach David Walden.
He's gonna bring in a new pitcher. Wilson's gonna pitch. He pointed at him as he was walking out there.
Blake Wilson, the hard luck loser in the game yesterday, is going to come in with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Legacy leading 6-5. Wow. You didn't think we were going to get through this one without a little extra drama, did you?
I tell you.
I didn't think these Eagles were going to go down quietly. They haven't gotten the job done yet, but they've sure made it interesting. Blake Wilson will try to get a 1-out save after Cole Herron just plain ran out of gas. Wilson threw about 80 pitches last night. Steele Walker is 0 for 1 officially. He has walked 3 times.
I'd take another one right here.
That would work. It would tie the game.
I would prefer a base hit, but I would take a base on balls right here.
So as we take a look at the runners on base, you have Cole Hecht at third, Terry Baker at second. You would have to think if Steele Walker can record a base hit, Prosper would have a very good chance, depending on how hard the ball was hit, of walking it off here.
This is a tough situation to put Mr. Wilson in, for sure.
All right, buddy, I know you pitched great last night. You didn't quite look as flashy as Herron, but you lost 1-0. Now go in there with the bases loaded and 2 out. You threw 80 pitches yesterday. I didn't see him warm up. I don't know if you did. I think he warmed up an inning or so ago. They did not pull him out of the bullpen.
Oh, he was playing first base.
By the way, I'm not really going to let you warm up. Yeah, you know, you get a few tosses here. What do you want? This will be the last warm-up pitch.
Well, here's the season thus far, and I don't think he'd want it in anybody else's hands besides Steele Walker.
Steele Walker has the bases loaded, 2 outs, Prosper trailing by a run. Steele saw 6 pitches in the first, 7 in the second, 6 in the 6th. He saw just 2 pitches in his 4th inning at bat. Blake Wilson against Steele Walker. Wilson works from the windup. The first pitch. Strike 1.
Good job coming in, getting ahead.
Walker down in the count at 0-1. No place to put him. Here's the pitch. Strike 2. Good heavens. We don't have a great angle at that pitch. But if that pitch is called a strike, that's going to be tough to dig in there. Prosper down to their final strike. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here it comes. High. One ball and 2 strikes. Blake Wilson ahead of Steele Walker at 1-2. Looks to third. Here comes the pitch. That is rolled over to second. This ought to do it. Johns over to first. It's high. The ball game and the series are over. The Prosper Eagles led the game 5-1, but they do not score after the third. They load the bases with a couple out. Blake Wilson, the hard luck loser in game 2, comes in. He has to face 1 hitter. He does his job. Legacy wins the game 6-5 and wins the series 2-1.
I guess it's only fitting that we lose a one-run game, as many as we played this year.
That's how both of these teams have done it all season long. Coaches David Walden and Rick Carpenter exchange handshakes. Congratulations to the Legacy Broncos, who go to the regional final for the first time in school history. Prosper, for the second consecutive year, has their season end in the regional semis. 6-5 is the final. Legacy over Prosper. The Eagles' season ends at 29-12. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have some final numbers on the game, the series, and we'll have some final thoughts on the season. 6-5 the final. Legacy eliminates Prosper. You've been watching Prosper Eagle Playoff Baseball on the Sportsgram Network.
At Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, their priority is to deliver quality care to informed patients in a comfortable and convenient setting. When you have dental problems, you need to turn to a dentist who listens and responds, an experienced doctor who knows the field and can effectively diagnose and treat your needs. At Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, located at 110 North Preston Road, their friendly staff meets these criteria. Plus, their dedicated team of trained professionals will give you the individualized attention you deserve. If you have dental needs or questions, give them a call at 972-346-2080 or visit their website at www.prosperdentistryandortho.com to see a full range of their services. Dr. Gilson wants to help you achieve your best smile.
If you're looking for the best all-you-can-eat buffet in town for only $1.99, come to Big Ed's Chow House. If you're looking for juicy burgers, come to Big Ed's Chow House. If you're looking for tender brisket and succulent ribs, come to Big Ed's Chow House. But if you're looking for Big Ed, don't come to Big Ed's Chow House. Big Ed passed away last week at the age of 47, leaving his wife and 3 children, struck down in his prime by the same disease that got his father. So he won't be around to take care of his family. And the sad part is it all could have been detected early with a simple test, but Big Ed didn't get it.
Have you gotten the medical tests you need? For a list of tests every man should have, go to ahrq.gov. Once again, that's ahrq.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You are round MVP.
Yeah, man. Yo, Drew, I finally got round MVP. Round MVP.
No way. That was some ownage. It's a good thing you got me as your wingman.
Right. You mean when you threw that flash grenade at me?
Whatever, man. Huge round. Seriously, great stuff.
Finally earning round MVP takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes.
All right, class. I'm going to pass back your tests. And a high score goes to Brian.
Oh, yeah. High score, baby.
We're all good at something. Maybe it's breakdancing or skateboarding or video games. Whatever you're good at, you have the skills to make it happen. And those same skills will help you get to college. Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Welcome to the Maya and Miguel Challenge. Meet Maya in the game.
Oh, hi, I'm Maya.
Maya and her friends want you to get up and play, because it's always more fun to be active.
There's mountain biking, boating and fishing, mountain climbing and spelunking. Let's get started.
Get ready to take the Maya and Miguel Challenge.
Let's see.
Just go to letsmove.gov and look for Maya and Miguel. You'll find tons of fun activities that'll help keep you healthy and active. Muy activo. You can also check out healthy recipes to try with your family, play cool games, and get free downloads. So come hang out with Maya, Miguel, and the whole gang.
Go!
Remember, whether you play sports, run, dance, or jump in place, just get up and play at least an hour a day. And don't forget, eat healthy to be your best. Maya and Miguel will show you how at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and the Department of Health and Human Services.
For the Mansfield Legacy Broncos, 6 runs on 11 hits, no errors. For the Prosper Eagles, 5 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors. The Prosper Eagles in what at some time seemed like a theme of the season, leave 11 men on base, including the bases loaded in the 7th. So Prosper's season ends at 29-12-1. Let's take a look at some of the final offensive numbers. Steele Walker was 0 for 2. He also walked 3 times. Blaine Moore was 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Tyler Webb, we'll talk a bit about this guy as well as some of these seniors here in just a moment. Webb finishes his career 1 for 4. Dom Yergo was 2 for 3 with a double, an RBI, and a run scored. Dean Smith was 2 for 3, a double, 2 RBI, a run scored, and a walk. Anthony Bernardez was 0 for 2 with a walk. Matt Gonzalez was 0 for 1. He also reached a couple times on a walk and a hit by pitch. And Hayden Stallings in his alone plate appearance was 0 for 1. Austin Medica was 2 for 4 with a couple of RBI, and Chad Hardy finished 0 for 3 with a walk.
Well, Brian,
we take a moment to exhale as this was really the story of the Eagles season. You know, they were in every game. They certainly got hot offensively. You know, certainly as we got through the season, this was a team that hit well over 300 all season long. They really hit the ball well in the playoffs. They come out here, they scored 5 runs early, but, as was sort of the case yesterday, through the, say, 3rd through 7th innings, they really struggled on offense. Prosper was able to get some runners, but they did not score after the 3rd inning. Prosper led this game 5-1 before a 4 spot in the 5th inning tied it. The big blast, a 3-run homer by Cole Herron, who also came in and really kept the Eagles at bay as a relief pitcher. So he comes in his second relief outing to try to lock in a series-clinching win. Prosper had the bases loaded there in the 7th inning. You had the man you wanted up there, against a kid who threw 80 pitches yesterday, got thrown in there after maybe a little bit of warm-up, had a few warm-up tosses. So there's maybe a little bit of poetry there for Blake Wilson. He was a hard luck loser yesterday, and he comes in and gets the only man that he needs to retire with the bases loaded. Prosper loses at 6-5, and it was another fantastic season. Mr. Mayberry, we didn't really know what to expect from a squad that had a lot of guys that were going to be playing their first and in many cases only year of varsity baseball. And this was a team that went to the regional semifinals last year. They were swept last year by White House, who ended up going to the state semifinals. And this year you didn't really know what to expect. And as we got through non-district, you saw what was a pretty darn good team, a team that had a couple of guys on the mound, especially as we got into district, and Dom Yergo and Dylan Bowen, who gave you a good, solid rotation. It was a rotation that served them very well through the playoffs. But you had guys like Hayden Stallings and Dean Smith on the mound that came in and gave you some good innings at times this season when they needed to. And it's just a really fun team to watch. And you really feel good for a lot of these guys that really only had one shot at it here in their senior year. Guys like Dom Yergo, who was part of a really outstanding JV team that really just laid waste to District 9 in JV. As we're looking over near the Prosper dugout, and you're seeing some guys from Legacy coming over to have a word with players from Prosper, as those are a group of guys down there that know what they've all been through. This was an absolute, I don't like to use the term war, certainly with sports at all, not to mention high school sports. This was just a knockdown drag-out. It was a 2-0 final in Game 1. Prosper won 1-0 last night, and now it's Legacy advancing via a 6-5 result. Legacy just keeps closing out these tight games, and you certainly take your hat off to those guys and wish them luck as they move forward. But talk a little bit about some of these guys. You're around the program every day. Some big key players that will be coming back next year, but spend a minute first to talk about some of the guys who won't be back.
Well, I tell you, it's definitely a disappointing end to the season, but because I think they thought they had these guys today, but they had their opportunities. They just didn't come through in the clutch situations. But had some big years by some of these guys. Dylan Bowen and Dom Yergo stepping up, along with Austin Medica and some of the others.
Blaine Moore.
Dean
This was
Smith.
Yeah. You look at Blaine Moore. I mean, you look at the junior season he had last year. Had an RBI walk-off against Wakeland that sent Prosper to the regional semifinals. Had a big clutch squeeze bunt against Heritage in a game that Prosper had to have just to make the playoffs. Great year for Blaine. Also a two-sport guy. Played some football as well. So, great season and career for Blaine. Dom Yerko, what a year he had. We're not even here today if he doesn't pitch the game of his life yesterday. That complete
right.
Game 4-hit shutout. Also one of your big sticks in the middle of that lineup. Ends up finishing as your team leader in RBI. A great job. Dean Smith, whose smile I think is as powerful as anything he does on the field. It's a guy that his teammates love, his classmates love. You can just tell in seeing some of the social media and things of that nature. The guy's always involved, and he was emceeing the talent awards for the news team at Prosper. You know, the guy just does a little bit of everything. He pitched a tough game here today, got his team into the fifth with a chance to win, which was really what you asked of him. He just ran out a little bit of gas and got figured out a bit by the Broncos there in the fifth as the Eagles led this one heading into the fifth inning 5-1. They left that inning in a 5-5 tie. Legacy went on to win it 6-5. You've got Austin Medica. What a great job. He's going to go play baseball at West Texas A&M with his buddy Dom. So Medica had a really good night here, had a couple of base hits, a couple of RBI, had the only RBI yesterday. Again, we're not here without Dom. We're not here without Austin, who really had the big hit of the game yesterday, had some big hits, try to keep his team in it with a shot to advance here tonight. And then, I want to talk a minute about Tyler Webb. This is, I don't think I'm overstating it to say, one of the great athletes in the history of the school. You look at a guy who basically every event we've called here on the SportsGram Network, baseball, football, he's been there. He's been on the field. He's been one of the guys on your score sheet, on your stat sheet, on your spotting board. You know where Tyler Webb is at all times. And, he would have run track if not for an early injury, and I'm sure would have been an all-state type
But an
performer.
all-state performer not only in football but baseball. Just a great athlete with a lot of speed and a good young man.
Just a great guy, great family. It's been great working with the Webbs in many sports throughout the seasons. Only wish the best for Tyler Webb, whose stay at Galveston College I think will be pretty short because there's going to be some, I think, some big-time D1 programs that are going to realize what they've already missed. And you can expect to see Tyler Webb. Don't be surprised to see him at a Baylor or a TCU, something like that, before all is said and done.
But I tell you, not as all lost for the Eagles. They got some stellar players that are going to come back like next year. You got Anthony Bernardez as a sophomore, Aaron Pierce is a sophomore, Steele Walker is a junior, Chad Hardy's a junior. Who else we got? Matthew Gonzalez is a junior.
Absolutely. You've got, and these are guys that have now been through a trip to the regional semis where you're a strike away basically from maybe moving on to where you haven't been in 30 years. And there's certainly a lot of guys whose names we haven't mentioned here that have made up what was a really special season. We want to take a moment as well to thank those that have made these broadcasts possible. The folks, the Gilsons over at Prosper Dentistry and Orthodontics, they were our sponsor all season long. The folks over at Mesa's Mexican Grill sort of jumped on that made these live video broadcasts possible, so we certainly want to thank those guys as well. We had a really great relationship working with Mike Stallings and the Booster Club this year that worked very closely with us at the SportsGram Network to bring you what we think was a very nice product this season. We certainly hope you've enjoyed it. We've had a cast of characters that have brought you the sights and sounds of Prosper Baseball here at the SportsGram Network. Certainly Eric Manto, who was in Austin this weekend. Big E, we missed you here today. But we'll see you up in that booth for Prosper Eagle football here before too long. Hope everything goes well down in Austin. Tyler Sloan stood in for me on a night at the Colony earlier this season, so I want to thank Tyler for helping out. Tanner Long, our engineer. Our stay was short here from the video side, but Tanner doing a fantastic job, as he always does, for various SportsGram properties. We were glad to have him here on the Prosper team here for the regional semifinals. I'm sure there's other folks we're forgetting to mention here, but Mr. Mayberry, it was a lot of fun to get to call a handful of games with you. Unfortunately, our undefeated streak is snapped here today, so we'll certainly take some of the heat for this one. But you bring a great element of color to the broadcast. You know these guys well. You know Coach Rick Carpenter very well. You know your baseball, and you brought a lot to the product here. So a lot of fun working with you.
Brian, I want to say thank you for having me, and for all the people that are listening out there. They don't know what they have in Brian. He is one of the most prepared people to come to this broadcast that I've ever seen. He's pulling out stats I didn't even know existed, and he did a great job of preparation, and that you don't just do that in 30 minutes. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of phone calls and texts and emails, et cetera, and we thank you for all the hard work you did, and looking forward to next year.
Well, I sure appreciate that. We worked very hard to give these guys a pro-style play-by-play and color in the entire broadcast. We do our best to bring a big league show here for the fans and players for this great Prosper program. It's a Prosper program now that in 2 4A seasons has been to within a strike or a game here and there from reaching the state quarterfinals. So expect to see more from Rick Carpenter and the Prosper Eagles. They're only getting started as a 4A power, but their season ends today in 3, coming up just short, defeated by the Legacy Broncos of Mansfield 6-5. So for the entire SportsGram Network crew, we want to thank you for watching these broadcasts of Prosper Eagle baseball all season long until August, when we bring you live broadcast coverage of Prosper Eagle football. Until then, I'm Brian Sutcliffe. We'll catch you on the flip side. So long, everybody.